Hey, this is Marshall from Staffordshire University, London, and we're super excited and happy to be part of this event, but I'm actually here to tell you about a different event that we have this coming Tuesday. It's a panel conversation hosted by us about diversity and inclusion within gaming. And on this panel is going to be an esports team owner, a former professional player, a games designer, and someone who's actually created his own manga brand. So if you love games and you love video games,
Welcome to the Yop Esports Champs broadcast. I am your host for the evening, Rambo FY, and I suggest get yourself some popcorn, grab a drink, sit on the sofa, get comfortable, because we're going to be here for a while, and there's a load of entertainment coming your way. There's also a load of giveaways as well, and a ton of guests, so you don't have to stare at my ugly mug for the entire evening. But I think the best place to start is with the London United founder, Ollie, who's hopefully going to be joining us any second. As long as my Ethernet cable stays strong. Ollie, how you doing? You must be excited for this evening.
Evening, Rambo. Yes, very much so.
Great.
How are
you? I'm glad. I'm very glad. First of all, that my internet's holding up. I'm not going to lie. More often than not, you start these things and the internet dies out. I'm very, very well, thank you. I'm very excited. I'm a proud ambassador of London United as well. For anyone who doesn't know, and I think it's the best way to start is if you tell the guys at home what London United is all about, what we've been up to, because we've really been up to a lot in recent times.
No, we have, absolutely. So, I mean, London United stands for an esports organisation that wants to address social issues. We think that gaming can be used as a medium to create some good in society, but at the same time, we can also help grassroots gamers take that path to pro and nurture and develop and educate them. Same as with the content creator strategy, as you know, which you're involved in. And that has transpired into running events where we've addressed social issues like diversity with United Against Racism in September with Leighton Orient, and George MX Morris and Isaac Chamberlain and others were involved. We've done nutrition and League of Legends. We've done loneliness and mental health at the beginning of COVID around FIFA. And we're really proud to be doing the Yop Esports Champs with the Mayor's Office, where we're now fusing education and esports.
Yeah, one of the things that really excited me when I came on board was exactly what you've just said, and the fact that we want to try and make a difference. That's why I joined, because I feel like we've got a role to play in society, and that is what London United is all about. With the esports champs, with something like this, a lot of people will go, and this was one of my first questions, if you remember, was how does gaming relate to what we're doing?
Well, I think the first thing is there is no stigma attached to gaming like there used to be. You can have a career in gaming, in esports. Like, I know the two terms sometimes get interrelated, and it's probably easier for the purposes of this to say, if you're into gaming and you want to play competitive video game in esports, you can have a career. But it doesn't just have to be as a gamer. There are other skills that you can utilize, whether in social media, video production, or video editing, actually, which are transferable. And gaming is just a really good way to connect with the community at this time, when we're all stuck indoors a little bit more than maybe we're used to in the past. But for us, it's all about endorsing a healthy approach to gaming. It's not that we want people to be playing video games 23 hours a day. We want them to understand that actually looking after your mind and body is an essential part of actually developing in your career to play video games. But even if you don't want to just be a competitive video gamer, you might want to work in industry, and that's what we have done over the last couple of weeks by putting on these workshops.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was gonna go, because obviously I've been involved with a few of these workshops, and we've done quite a few of them. And throughout the broadcast, you're going to see some clips from some of the workshops we've done as well. You're going to see some of the faces that we had involved as well. And just before I let you go, the thinking behind the workshops, obviously, to get people involved, and for you, for London United as a whole, do you feel as though that connection between gaming and the workshops is now sort of like bridging into what we're doing today?
I think so, yes. I mean, we're very fortunate that we got the support of Sadiq Khan, the Mayor of London, and then that allowed us to go into various boroughs of London and say, look, we are going to put on this project. Do you want to get involved? We've got great outreach partners, the Rio Ferdinand Foundation, the Kingston Race and Equalities Council, the Wickers charity in Hackney, the Young Mayor's Office in Lewisham. They all embraced this wholeheartedly. And actually, we've had a lot more demand to broaden it out. So we actually thought we would start with just the first 4 boroughs that I've just mentioned. But actually, there is a demand to do a lot more. And this was very much like beta v1.0. And we've had some learnings. And some of the output has been incredible. Like Conisbrough College students, 8 students in Conisbrough College have participated in every workshop. And they're actually talking to us about developing it within their curriculum. So it's been very positive. I think it's definitely served purpose. There are always learnings, and we will take those learnings into next year and make it even better.
Fab. Ollie, I'm very excited. As you know, we talk nearly every single day. I think I speak to Ollie more than I speak to my mum. But I'm very, very excited for everything that we've got coming your way, and especially in this broadcast as well. And as I mentioned, giveaways, by the way, keep an eye on the chat because there's a PlayStation 5 giveaway via Yop hanging around in there. So make sure you stick around in the chat. Ollie, thank you very much for popping by. I'm sure you're going to be watching the rest of the stream, and I'm hoping you're going to enjoy it. As I mentioned, it's not just going to be my ugly mug that you get to see all evening. So we've got our two FIFA casters with us, John and Shauna. Hopefully are going to be tagging in any second now. How are you both doing? I'm assuming you're also very, 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 very excited.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. It's been a while since we've had a chance to do some sort of esports action or live stream. I know you mentioned the fact that the whole COVID thing is going on. A lot of stuff has obviously been hit by esports in particular, especially myself as a full-time content creator and full-time presenter around the world. I've hardly had any chance to jump on the mic and do some sort of esports. But I'm excited, man. This is all for London United. I've worked for them multiple times. They're a fantastic organisation, fantastic team to work with, and I know I'm excited, and I'm sure Shauna's equally as excited as I am.
I'm really excited. It's my first time actually being like behind the scenes, because normally I just stream FIFA and play FIFA, so I'm excited to see how this goes, really.
Yeah, and you two have both been smashing it in your own right. Like John said, normally you travel the world, and I'm incredibly jealous. Shauna, you've been smashing it with the streams, and generally speaking, you two are just absolutely killing it, so kudos for that. I'm going to come to you, Shauna, or John, whichever one of you takes this on. You two are going to have a lot of fun because you're doing the co-commentators. This is a great little way to start off and see how you two bounce off each other. Can you explain the bracket to us, please?
Yeah, sure. So it's pretty much, the bog standard way any sort of esports bracket would run. I'm just looking over at my screen here. Sorry, I've got the bracket format on my screen. So we're going to see 2 days of qualifiers, which is obviously today being the first one. And I believe we have another qualifier day, which is on Wednesday the 16th, which is this Wednesday coming up. And that features however many people we have signed up through the websites and the links that we've put out, all playing in a single elimination, best of one bracket. And then from there, we are going to see an X number of people progress through to the grand finals, which is going to be on the 19th, which is next Saturday, I believe. So this time next week, this whole thing will come to a conclusion. And I'm really excited for it, especially best of ones. I know, Shauna, yourself, for example, I know you play Foot Champs a lot, and it's this sort of a one and done game there where you either lose and you grab yourself, gold one, or you pick up that last win and get yourself elite three. It's going to be really important for these players, to perform to the best of their ability all the time, is it not?
Yeah, I was just going to ask there about Foot Champs, by the way. Shauna, what's your common where do you normally finish, shall we say?
This year, I don't really want to talk about it.
Same.
I've actually just had to go back to Gen 4 because on the PS5 I'm struggling. So I'm sitting now at like 7 and 4, hoping I can get gold 2 and go home. So yeah,
hey,
listen, this year for me.
This year, the rewards in Gold 2 have not been bad. I'm not going to lie. They've been better than the elite guys out there. That's all I'm saying. John, do you play much Foot Champs yourself?
Yeah, well, I mean, last year I played it a lot. I had a few elite finishes here and there, but I usually average around the gold one. But this year, unfortunately, every single weekend that Foot Champs has been running, I've either been, busy, wrapped up with doing work, wrapped up with streaming. I'm not just a FIFA content creator. I stream other games as well, so I have other commitments. So I've actually not had a chance to touch Foot Champs this year. Kind of fortunately for me, because I'm not overly keen on the gameplay this year. It's a little bit stressful, but no, I do like a bit of Foot Champs. I actually infamously broke my hand playing Foot Champs last year after choking. I think it was like Elite 2 or Elite 1 week last year. But, yeah, passion's the word I guess you can take from that.
We've all been there. Sean, I know you're going to agree with me just very quickly. These excuses that John's making, we hear this all the time, don't we?
We definitely do. I'm the number one excuse maker, so I can't say anything. I'm just sitting here being quiet.
Yeah, I know that weekend excuse. I need to lawn mow the grass, even though I haven't got grass in my yard. I've got to take my car for a clean, even though I took it for a clean yesterday. John, chat to us about the Sport Buff integration.
Yeah, so we've actually got an amazing thing which I've not actually really seen before. I know there's a few actual Twitch overlay extensions that you can actually do through the Twitch website. But if I'm correct, this has actually been brought in from like a third party that's been integrated into Twitch, which is called Sport Buff, which but what it basically is, it allows you guys to pretty much do what we're doing and have an input on your outcome as to which you think the outcome of the game is going to be. We're going to have loads of different polls and competitions going on live on the screen overlay, and we'll ask you questions such as who's going to score the next goal. Is it going to be John, Shauna, or Rambo, for example? And you guys vote on that, and it's just a way of getting engaged really in the chat and being engaged with us. And no doubt we're going to keep an eye on the chat. I certainly will be while we're live, and hopefully we see some sort of community integration and interaction there.
Yeah, and also via Sportbuff, you can win a ton of prizes as well, so make sure you engage with that. I am now going to tap out and leave it to you guys, basically. I'm going to be back, don't worry. I'm now going to go grab myself some popcorn. Shauna, John, take the floor first. First game of FIFA, let's have it.
Yeah, thank you very much, Rambo. I mean, I heard him say earlier on that we're going to have to look at his ugly mug. To be honest, I'm not going to lie. He's a good-looking fella, to say the least. I think there's a few people in the chat that disagreed with that statement there. But anyways, yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the FIFA section. We have got NBA coming up later on. If you guys have just missed it or just tuned in, my name's John. I'm joined by the lovely Shauna. Shauna, let's just talk quickly while we're waiting for the first game to start about FIFA 21 in general. It's safe to say that this year compared to last year, as it is somewhat every other year, there's been so many different meta shifts this year, and the gameplay. I'm just talking about gameplay in general. Do you enjoy FIFA 21 and the gameplay this year, or are you a fan of previous FIFAs more?
I did at the start. I really did, and then a couple patches later, I just lost. I don't know what it is. I was really excited about it. I felt like the gameplay was very quick at the start, and then I think it started to slow down. I'm not too sure, but I just feel like I've been playing FIFA 20 for over a year right now. But I mean, I love FIFA. I'm not going to stop playing it regardless. So
yeah, I feel like FIFA's like that boy your mum tells you not to get involved with. It's like no matter how much you try to leave it alone, every single year you're pumping FIFA points on and you go back to it. That's literally the worst thing. I was literally playing it earlier on. If you go through my Twitter feed, there's literally non-stop tweets of me complaining about the meta and the gameplay, but here I am commentating over a game that I love. So who knows? We are just waiting for the first game to load up. Guys, I know, Sean, this is your first time commentating. You must be excited to try something slightly out of your comfort zone.
I am, but you know what? I'm always nervous. Like, you'd think, I've been streaming for over, I think it's like 2 years now. I've literally started streaming in 2015, so you'd think this would be a breeze, but I still get nervous, so I'm just sat here like, I hope I don't say anything stupid.
Yeah, hopefully we don't see any Quincy Coleman quotes come up today. You're gonna regret telling me that earlier on while we were talking before the start of the game. But
that's his name now. I've changed his name.
Okay. I mean, I think his passport might say otherwise, but we'll wait and see how things unfold. But yeah, again, we are just waiting for the first game to load. We have had a few issues with some people showing up. We expected a really big turnout, but at the moment, I think we've got around 8 players who have actually, confirmed themselves into this tournament. We'll have to wait and again get confirmation on that for you. But one thing I want to talk about is I do believe this game is being played in the online friendly mode. So we're not going to be using FIFA Ultimate Teams, I believe. I'm not 100% sure if I'm correct in saying that. I will try to get confirmation for you guys. But yourself, Shauna, I know myself as well. You were there's the confirmation that we needed. As Liverpool versus Liverpool is going to come up onto our screen. Being a Foot Champs player, playing FIFA Ultimate Team, these players probably are very much like us that play FIFA Ultimate Team as their primary game mode. How difficult is it going to be to adjust to, not having the prime icons that have just dropped into packs yesterday, for example, or the base icons and some of the, the special cards in the game go into using, bog standard players as the bog standard cards?
Well, the players are completely different. Like, not many people realize if you play Ultimate Team compared to like head to head, like the players are completely different. So it'll be fun to see how they adapt. It'll just be fun because I know I struggle a lot. I feel like I have to slow my stuff down.
I was actually about to ask you, like, if I said to you, okay, like, let's play a game, but I'm going to take away your icons, all away your special cards, and you've got to use just standard base cards. I think probably myself, the only like base cards I'd probably be happy with using is like the likes of CR7, Mbappe, maybe a Neymar as well, or something like that. Their base cards are good enough as it is, but when you start getting down to the central midfielders and the defensive, more like the middle four structure, the two CDMs and the two centre backs, that's where you want to see some of the best icons in the game being involved. So we're going to have to see. But you mentioned, no doubt, you played a little bit of the head-to-head game mode more casually, should you have friends over or something like that. What types of teams are we going to look to potentially see, just based off your knowledge of Ultimate Team and the OP players? Would you expect to see the likes of PSG, for example, with the Neymars and the Mbappe?
PSG, absolutely. Are they allowed to use international teams?
I believe so. I believe they're allowed to use international
France?
teams.
People would be using France.
Yeah. France, 100%. I literally did an event with London United about 4 months ago, and I think we saw France versus France in like every single matchup except from like the final. We saw like, and that was still like a France versus PSG or something like that. So I was like, it's pretty much France versus France anyway. But it's going to be exciting to see the way that this game is going to go. We're going to play, the standard rules of FIFA that anyone would expect. We're going to have 2 6-minute halves. We was going to try and change the format up slightly due to the lesser teams and have a home and an away leg, but we are not, like I mentioned earlier while speaking to Rambo, we are just going to play the best of one. And, the loser goes home. And I for one, Shauna, hate losing. I'm the most competitive player you'll ever meet. Even if I know that I am the worst at the game, I play multiple games. I'm a variety streamer, and I know some of the games I'm not very good at. Why people tune in to watch me play it, I don't know. But losing in the first round of a tournament, that must knock some sort of confidence out of you if that was to happen.
Me compared, I don't go well with that. Like, if I play mini golf, I want to win. If I don't win, I remember being 8 years old and storming off if I didn't win mini golf. So it's kind of rolled into one now when I play games, FUT Champs. If you see me, I want to smash everything out me. But I'm trying to evolve.
You're trying to go Super Saiyan, but in a good way, the reverse of Super Saiyan, Mini Saiyan, whatever that means.
Yes.
But we are going to see Paris Saint-Germain versus Liverpool for our first game here. 2 teams that we highly predicted to be involved in this sort of matchup on online friendlies. On the squad of Paris Saint-Germain, you've got the Neymars, you've got the Mbappe, even an Angel Di Maria might be useful there, although he has got that relatively bad weak foot, but if he gets on his left, he can be very deadly. And on the likes of Liverpool, of course, Shawnee, you got Mohamed Salah and Sadio Mane, who are 2 of the best players in FIFA and have been for a long time. I mean, we've just seen the Foot Freeze promo come out, and Mane has got a ridiculous 92 rated striker card, which I'm like, okay, this should be illegal. How good are the likes of Mbappe, Neymar, Salah, Mane? How good are they actually to play with?
Mane, you just can't catch. As soon as he's past you, it's a goal. So that'll be. I'd love to see how they defend against Mane. Salah is tricky as well, so that'll be. This is going to be a good matchup, honestly. Liverpool and Paris Saint-Germain.
I personally feel like this. Yeah, this is literally. I was just literally about to say that this is going to be one of those games where whoever takes their chances is going to most probably win the game, due to the fact that you've got a set of defence here. Obviously, we know Liverpool have got Virgil van Dijk. However, he's not actually the best this year in comparison to how good he was last year. You've got the likes of a Joe Gomez as well, for example. But on Ultimate Team, everybody uses Joe Gomez's Inform 85 rated card, which has the added stats and the added physical and the defending stats. But they can't use that because this is the standard friendly mode. But I'm interested to see how things are going to kick off. We have got Liverpool up against Paris Saint-Germain. Liverpool kicking from right to left, wearing their classic home strip, seeing as they are at Anfield. Paris Saint-Germain kicking from left to right in the away white strip. And already, you said Mohamed Salah got good ball control, but he can't keep the ball in there somehow.
I'm excited to see. How they both match up, especially with them both having insane attackers. That's where I'm really looking forward to see who wins. Oh, and we got a goal.
Yeah, Mohamed Salah, you mentioned the great attackers, and it only takes that Egyptian king one chance to get on the scoreline, and just like that, before you know it, we are going to see the early goal in favour of the home side. And now, Sean, I mean, let's just talk based on the likes of a FIFA Ultimate Team game here. If you go 1-0 up early in FUT Champs, are you a person that automatically switches to 1 depth or 0 depth, sit back and just soak up all the pressure and try and grab the 1-0, or are you still going to be steaming forward on the front foot to try and bag yourself another goal?
At the start, I feel like sometimes it's just a little bit of luck. If they bag a goal early, I try and just stay level-headed, and get the equaliser. But like this, I just really wanna see what happens right now because look, he's on the attack again. This is insane.
Yeah, unfortunately, Mohamed Salah did stray just offside there. Now ball in possession of Bernat. He's going to try and work his way up the left-hand side. Slips it into Verratti. Verratti, a very good player. However, he's not really been meta too much in the recent years of FIFA just because of those pace stats. And I know in particular here, Sean, in FIFA 21, pace is a huge factor this year. It was kind of overshone a little bit in FIFA 20, but as we say that, Mbappe is slipped through by Verratti. Very similar situation, Sean, as what we just saw with Mohamed Salah. One shot, one goal, and you do not want to let Kylian Mbappe through one-on-one.
It's literally just them two. Mbappe, Mane, Salah. He's got Neymar as well. So it's it's just full out attack, constant. Oh no, wait, score that one.
Yeah, just straight offside. I think that was Sadio Mane there. The ball in the hands of Igay into Icardi. Icardi now back to Mbappe, back to Icardi, and this is going to be a complete. This is going to be a recurring factor. So what we're going to see, Sean, it's going to be quick possessional passing in the midfield, and you're just going to see the through balls go through to Mbappe and Neymar every single time. These players have got 90+ pace, and they have got some fantastic finishing ability. So it does not shock me that Paris Saint-Germain are playing the way they are at the moment because they're playing to their strengths. What's the point in PSG trying to play possessional football and push their fullbacks way up the pitch when they've got the attackers to do it? They've got that front three of Icardi, Neymar and Mbappe, and they're just using it to their advantage. Now Mohamed Salah for Liverpool is going to find Wijnaldum. Wijnaldum now finds it into Sadio Mane, and that is 2-1 now in favour of Liverpool. Sean, we've seen 3 shots fall on target and we've seen 3 goals. This is going to be, we're in for a 6-all right now. That's what I'm predicting already.
There's going to be a lot of goals this match, I can guarantee.
And I think that's just, that's the pros of having such attacking teams, that for the viewers and ourselves as commentators, it's going to be fun to watch because we're not going to see people trying to keep the ball, moving the ball around, albeit that's probably what you should be doing if you're playing FIFA, especially in an esports scene while 2-1 up. You want to try and keep this ball now. We're just going to see people just go all-out attack and try and find goals. Here's Wijnaldum. He's going to slip it out wide to Mohamed Salah once again. And there we go. The Egyptian is on at the front foot. He's going to probably cut in onto his left foot and try and bend this into the top corner. No, it is going to be to Wijnaldum. Back out to Salah. Now to Wijnaldum. And I like what's happening here from Liverpool. They tried to go forward. Salah couldn't shift it onto his left foot quick enough to get a shot away. So what do? They recycle the ball and keep possession. How important is it, Sean, while playing FIFA, especially in the likes of FUT Champs, for example, to try and frustrate your opponent and keep the ball away from him?
What it is you really have to slow it down because these runs that I'll be making in FIFA 21, you can see your player make a run and you can just get dispossessed as soon as possible, as soon as you make the pass, really. So I feel like the best way to attack is doing it exactly what Liverpool is doing here is, passing around the box and then waiting for the right pass. There you go. Get a goal.
Yes, Sadio Mane putting the 3rd on the board for Liverpool. And now if you're Liverpool, what you do is every time you have the ball, just take the sting out of the game. There's 15 minutes until half time. Try and keep the ball, frustrate Paris Saint-Germain and force them into the mistakes. Because what's going to happen sooner rather than later, Paris Saint-Germain are going to have to press. And as I say that, Mbappe and Neymar combine to make it 3-2. Sean, the textbook's gone out the window here, if you ask me. And these guys are just playing for goals.
It's great to see. It is great to see. And I did say beforehand, the attackers on both teams are insane. Mane scoring, Mbappe scoring, Neymar scoring. In the break again.
And this is just going to be a recurring factor. I mean, I hate to sound like a broken record or use that cliche of, sounding like a broken record, but the textbook has quite literally gone out the window here. This is just all-out attack. These guys are literally playing it like a kick-off online friendly game, which, to be fair with you, it technically is. The ball into the box. It's going to fall to Mbappe. Does drop to Icardi, but Alisson's there to sweep it up. Ball now going to be instantly thrown out to Roberto Firmino. Firmino on to Diego Jota. And Jota's a player who's actually performed very well in real life. And he's been a bit unlucky not to grab himself a few team of the weeks here. but ball now is going to be intercepted by Verratti. It's going to be Fabinho who wins that back. Mohamed Salah, Wijnaldum now. Can't thread the ball through to Mane, however. And if you're these two players here, Shauna, I mean, what are you thinking? What's going through your head right now? You're in a high-scoring game. Do you just try to outscore the opponent, or do you try to change things up slightly and you know, make things swing in your favour?
I would absolutely try and clutch down on the defence, because it just seems to be every attack they're getting through on goal. So somebody needs to clutch their defence before it, you know.
I don't think any of these players have set up, you know, the whole stay back while attacking on option that most players do. You know, usually most players have their 2 CDMs set to stay back while attack, as well as their fullbacks as well. But it looks like these are just, you know, bog standard default custom tactics going on right now, and everyone's just flying forward at all points. But I literally tweeted earlier on today that I tweeted a gif of someone sprinting, that when I have my players set to stay back on attack, all they do is the complete opposite of what I say, and I always have gaps in my defence somehow. But in at half time here, Shauna, 3-2 in favour of Liverpool. Paris Saint-Germain are trailing, of course. Now, if you're Paris Saint-Germain here, how are you going to go about, you know, going into the second half, coming back out at half time, 45 minutes to go? How are you going to get yourself a goal, if not put yourself 4-3 up?
Well, I hate to be that person, but I definitely use my CDMs way more to defend. Just so, you know, if I was obviously Paris Saint-Germain, I won't trail any more goals. But also just slowly build up the attack rather than fly up and then get beat on the counter. So yeah, that's what I would do in order to beat Liverpool right now.
Yeah, and I mean, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head there, and it's pretty much exactly the same sort of way that I would play. I mean, I don't know if this is how you play, but the majority of FIFA players will try to do the most of their defending with their central defensive midfielders, so therefore their 2 centre-backs and their full-backs don't get dragged out of positions while they're stacked to stay attacking. But right now, it looks like they're doing everything but that. The quick interchange of play, Neymar squares it across goal to Icardi. And that was pretty much what you just said. The Paris Saint-Germain players, they got a little bit more control in that midfield. They found a few quick interchanges of passing, and before you know it, Neymar's through on goal, squares it across goal, and Icardi's not going to miss an open goal from 9 yards out. And straight after the stroke of half-time, that's exactly what you want if you're PSG. And already you can see the cogs might be slightly turning here, as Mbappe now is going to try and do a bit of quick footwork, but does get intercepted by Virgil van Dijk after trying to find his Brazilian teammate, which was Neymar. Virgil again with a fantastic tackle. And I can't stress enough how frustrating it is to play against Virgil van Dijk. He is probably, especially last year as well, he was the most frustrating person to ever play against, just because of how tall and strong he is. And this year he's not really too much in the meta, but you know, he still does the job. That's why he's around 300k, I think, on the team at the moment. But 3-3 right now. 56 minutes on the clock, and it looks like Liverpool are coming forward. This could actually potentially have a penalty shootout written all over it here, to be fair, Sean. Would you like to see this to go to penalties or extra time? Or I think it's going to go to a golden goal, I believe, if it's all square after 90 minutes.
So there's nothing better than winning a 90-minute game. It's always so nerve-wracking going into extra time. So I don't know if I would like to sit here and worry for either of the teams. So I'd like to see a win during the 90 minutes, honestly.
Oh yeah, I think it's the good old, like, if you're asking me as a player, then yes, let's win inside 90 minutes. But if you're asking me as a spectator and fan of FIFA, let's play another game. Why not? But luckily there, I think it was Joe Gomez who stepped in at the nick of time to intercept the ball from Kylian Mbappe. Bernat now finds the interception. It's going to fall to the feet of Verratti, the Italian, with a bit of a sloppy pass, as Wijnaldum does intercept the ball now at the feet of Fabinho. So that's fine Firmino, but Firmino's pass cannot find its intended target, and now it's Paris Saint-Germain who's on the attack. Ball spread out wide to Bernat. Bernat first time into Neymar. Neymar, can he cut back inside on the right foot? He does, but Virgil van Dijk is there once again. And how many times do we see this? I mean, I literally saw your tweet earlier on where I think you said, like, try to slide into my crush's DMs, but AI interceptions blocked me or something like that. You know, I feel for you on that one. I know what you mean, but like the AI interceptions on FIFA, you know, even though they say every year that they try to remove AI interceptions and make it more manual-based defending, I feel like everyone's AI defending works except for mine. Do you feel the same, or?
In some instances, when my opponent's attacking me, I know my AI is going to stop it. If I'm just near the ball, they're going to do a backflip and save it for some reason. This year, AI blocks really do haunt me because you can work up a great play, be one-on-one. You can sweat the ball, and for some reason the defender's going to come out of nowhere and AI block. So yeah, it's definitely my nightmares. That's why I tweeted about it today. Woke up thinking about AI blocks.
woke up thinking about AI blocks. I think that's every FIFA player's daily recurrence or thoughts. I mean, the amount of nightmares I had last year after like ridiculous things that happened in FIFA this year as well. I think, especially with how sensitive the manual tackling is this year as well. I don't know if you've noticed, but compared to last year it was quite. I don't know the best way to. It was quite laggy. Like it was quite skippy in terms of you would tackle the ball, but it would still come out with the ball 9 times out of 10, and it would sort of bobble and fumble its way back to the attacker. But this year, you have to be so precise with your tackling, and that mixed in with AI defending sometimes can set it up for a really, really OP backline. But Roberto Firmino steaming through on goal here. He's one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Firmino slides it through Keylor Navas's leg and puts Liverpool 4-3 up with 10 minutes to go here. And I literally said to you, Sean, at the start of the game, this is going to be a high-scoring game, and we are sitting at 4-3 right now with 10 minutes to go.
Yeah, it's a very exciting game, and it is refreshing to see because I play FUT Champs every weekend, feels like every day, and you play against some great players that know how to defend, and they'll just win by 1 goal, and I'll have like 70% possession or things like that. So this is just different to see, and I'm enjoying it actually.
I don't know if you just heard my Discord go off by accident there. I didn't realize I had my Discord coming through a set of speakers, so I do apologize for that. But yeah, I completely agree with what you say about losing games while you have 70% possession. I mean, I'm a Tottenham fan in real life, so I'm not going to complain about that. We're in the league IRL at the moment, and we do just that, exactly that. When we have like 20% possession, we'll win 1-0, but I'm not going to complain. As when Yardem slides the ball into the back of the net, fantastic finish on the half-turn left foot, shot the ball past Navas. 5-3 now for Liverpool. And it looks like it's going to be Paris Saint-Germain who are crashing out of this competition here early. Unless, I mean, we've seen some crazier comebacks on FIFA with a few minutes to go, but it looks like it's going to be now or never as Mbappe does get through. Can he square the ball for Neymar? He doesn't. Alisson makes a fantastic one-on-one stop. The sweeper keeper does it again. And it's now Liverpool going forward. Fabinho, the ball looks like it's going to be spread out wide to Diego Jota. It is. Jota through. One-on-one with the goalkeeper. Can he find the shot? No, Marquinhos just there in the nick of time to block the ball as it goes across the goal. And there we have it. 5-3 in favour of Liverpool. They're going to be advancing through to the next round. And what a way to start things off, I mean, you literally hit the nail on the head where you say, I play FUT Champs every single week. I play against good players who will just hold the ball for 90 minutes after going 1-0 up. It's so refreshing to see people who don't care about that and just are like, hey, we're on the front page of Twitch right now. Let's give these guys, something good to watch. And I mean, how did you find that? I believe that was your first time ever commentating FIFA at all, or just commentating in general. So are you feeling a little bit more relaxed now? Are the nerves slightly out, or?
Yeah, I am. And I know this game, so I don't know what I'm nervous for. So yeah, that was a good game to commentate because there was a lot of things going on, and there's a lot of things I could pick up on. So that was a good game to start on, 100%.
Yeah, and hopefully, that's the way things can carry on from here on out. I mean, especially if it's in terms of gameplay. I mean, I'll sit here and happily commentate 8-9 goal thrillers throughout the whole day. It's a lot more relaxing to commentate, but at the same time, my inner analyst inside is like, please just keep the ball for like 5 minutes so we can analyze something that's happening as to how you can change it, and it's not just like, okay, you have an attack, I'll have an attack. But I guess that's the way these guys want to play, and it obviously worked for Liverpool there. They are through to the next round of the qualifiers. Guys, don't forget that you can be involved in the stream by not only just watching, but interacting with the overlay that is going to be on your screen throughout times. You can win some awesome prizes through it. All you guys have got to do is, answer the polls that are going on there and on all the interactive games that are happening throughout the stream. So make sure you guys keep up to date with that. It's going to be fantastic to get you guys involved and see if you guys know more than us, the analysts, the quote-unquote professionals here. No doubt you guys are already memeing us in chat where they're talking about, oh, these guys are saying this, but the other thing's happening. But anyways, we are still waiting for the next game. we are going to bring in our beautiful host, Rambo. Rambo, are you there, my?
I am. Thank you very much for the very nice compliment, my guy. You two absolutely smashed that. Absolutely cracking game as well. I think I need a breather. I think you guys need a breather as well. So let's take a quick ad break and we'll see you back in about a minute.
Yop, a snack you can drink, supporting you to make a positive change. Yop, no limits.
Is Adam in here? Yeah, I'm just checking you there. Okay. Yeah, I can. I'll let Tom talk to you though. Yeah, I think Julian's here as well, Rambo, if I'm not mistaken.
Welcome back. Pretty rapid little break that, and I'm actually not even fibbing. I have gunned down a Yop yogurt. I was gunning down a Yop yogurt, so if there's any yogurt hanging around my face, I apologise. It's quite difficult to judge if there's little dribblings here, there, and everywhere. More importantly, not that you need to know my dietary needs. The Yop Esports Champs, as I mentioned, we've done a ton of workshops, including a video production workshop, and I'm hopeful that we're going to be joined by Julian Alexander from the Uni of East London any minute now. Julian, how you doing?
What's going on, Rambo? Feeling great. Thank you so much for having me.
I love the hype. I love the hype as soon as you queued in. I'm absolutely here for that. Obviously, you took part and the video production workshop went down really, really well. But I wanted to know what it was like for you as an experience.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So, with UEL, University of East London, I teach on the media course there. I'm new to the program. And so actually doing this video workshop was actually, a part of still my first semester kind of introduction to University of East London and everything surrounding it. So it's a great way for me to kind of get introduced to this community. It was really awesome because one thing that's passionate about me and the reason why I continue to teach and educate is to honestly inspire filmmakers, inspire kids who are interested in things. And the best part is what I get the most joy out of is when I have students that have never picked up a camera before, that have never thought about as something that they can produce before, because I was that student, and now I've dedicated my life, of course, to cinema. So if I can dedicate one of these gamers, maybe to taking it to the next step, or maybe choosing that they want to consider this more and more, then hey, that it's all worth it for me, brother.
I love that passion, man. I'm going to have to get your number after. I think you're in the WhatsApp group we've got set up because I need some video production advice myself.
I got your back, bro.
Thank you. My setup isn't great, but we've got Mo Salah just hanging in the corner watching over for a bit of good luck. I think it's only right that you get to introduce your own video here. So we're going to roll a little VT, but Julian, I'm going to throw it to you.
Hey, you got it, man. So this is a little UEL promo video just to give you a sense of what's going on at this university. Multimedia, great professors, great lecturers, including myself. So check it out and just get a sense of, I believe the person who's going to be speaking in it actually is on the gaming course there too. So man, video production, gaming, music production, what have you, come to UEL if you want to be the change. Let's go.
I study games design, and this gives me a solid purpose in my life. I'm pursuing an intently competitive and creative job role where I believe the most impact can be made in the world. Games at the moment have such a negative attitude around them, and that's what I intend to change. Games can be educational, they can be therapeutic, and they can be social. There are so many different genres and different topics that games can cover and explore openly. 2020 has had a really bad start, in my opinion. That's just one more reason to keep fighting for your career choices and your dreams.
I'm not going to lie. Julian has got me feeling like I want to take on a video production course. Absolute hype. Thank you so much, my man, for hopping in. And I genuinely will message you after this, because there's nothing better than having someone on who absolutely loves what they do. And honestly, from the heart, we did not tell him what he was going to say. He's just come on here and gone full on with the passion. So very much so appreciate it. And if you're listening, thank you so much. We're now going to be joined by Adam Ryan, who is also involved in the video production workshop as well. Adam, what was that workshop like for you?
First of all, I just wanted to say that I'm really happy to be here. Looking forward to this a lot. And in terms of the workshop, it was really educational for me. It's something that I've always wanted to get better at, video editing, things like that, because YouTube for me is something that I should be pushing. And I've never had the skill set to do it. I've not had the equipment to do it either. But now that I've got the equipment, I thought it was only right that I get more knowledge on the subject. And the fact that I got that from people who are so well respected and knew so much in that kind of scene and industry, it helped. So I just enjoyed soaking everything like a sponge and just trying to take away things to implement into my videos.
I love that, man. I'm expecting your video quality and production to be shooting through the sky next time we speak, yeah?
If it's not, I've only got myself to blame, so I'm not going to talk myself too high, but I'm trying my best to use those skills.
All right, no pressure. Speaking of pressure, FIFA this year, what are your goals with FIFA?
I mean, my main goal would be to qualify for the Club World Cup with Jonesy, because that is ultimately what brought me here to London United. So there's that, and then my other one would be to represent Scotland in the E-Nations Cup, because it'll be our first chance of trying to compete in that, and it's something I've wanted to do for a long time. But another thing that I've wanted to do for a long time is cast some FIFA, so I'm delighted that today I'm getting my first chance to do that.
Yeah, so you're going to be joining our other two casters very, very soon. But before we do that, time for another VT.
Take many risky shots, I think it's safe to say. All these goals are pretty much, I'd say 12 to 3 yards out.
Hi guys, I'm Josh, I'm 19 and I'm a professional FIFA player from Bangor in North Wales.
My name's Adam Ryan, I'm 19 years old and I'm a FIFA player from Stirling in Scotland. I got into FIFA pretty much like everybody else, just from enjoying real football, and then in terms of competing, I saw myself getting better, and when you see those results it just kind of became an obsession.
The way I got into FIFA is I've always loved football and it made sense to integrate my love for football and gaming. In 2021 you can expect a lot more of this from me.
Plenty of FIFA left to be played in that game.
Oh, here we go, Jonesy again, looking for another goal. That's exactly what
I like playing darts. It's something I've started since lockdown. I'm not claiming to be good, I'm getting better, and I've hit my first 180, so...
Yeah, Adam, that's good, but can you do this?
Adam, just before we get John and Shauna back in, I got to ask you, the 180 thing, is it true?
Of course it's true, and I may have only hit one, so it is a bit hard to believe, but you might see that, but you don't hear about the near misses and how much time that took me, so I'm really proud of that. You can believe it if you want, that's your choice, but I'm telling you it's true, so if you want to take my word for it, you can.
All right, I will take your word for it. Time for some more FIFA. So John, Shauna, and of course Adam, a freeway. Is it Coco commentary? Is that what it's called? Coco commentary? I don't know what the technical term for it is.
I haven't got a clue what the technical term for it is even. I've been doing this for about 4 or 5 years professionally, but we're just going to wing it anyway. Adam, it's a delight for you to join myself and Shauna. First off, how you doing today, my friend? You good? I hope you're well.
Yeah, doing pretty good. It's been a good day for me, and now I'm just looking forward to getting involved with this.
Yeah, I mean, I know you said that you were very keen on commentating FIFA for the first time, so no doubt you're very excited. You know, hopefully you can try and hold your nerves together a little bit better than my friend Shauna over here. She was panic DMing me before the start of the stream saying, John, help me, what do I do? But no, I thought she did great the first game, so why not kick it off with game number 2? both of you guys, you know, I've already asked Shauna for her predictions in terms of what teams we'll see throughout this tournament. The teams that she predicted were Liverpool and Paris Saint-Germain. And funny enough, those were the two teams that we saw play first off. Yourself, Adam, as a competitive FIFA player, I believe you represented Watford, if I'm correct, in the EPL last season. Your teammate Jonesy was representing Manchester United. You obviously know more about the Ultimate Team side of things, where you can use the icons, you can use special cards like Team of the Years or Team of the Weeks, for example. If you're playing like an online friendly, for example, using the kickoff game mode, what sort of teams are you going to personally be looked at? Are there any type of teams that you prefer to play with? Is it Juventus, for example, because they got CR7, or is it the likes of PSG who have the Mbappes and the Neymars?
Well, I think most players that are competitive will be looking at a France or a PSG, just because of the players with the 5-star skills, the Neymar and Mbappe at PSG, and then you have Ousmane Dembele at France, players like that. When I played in these in previous FIFAs, you used to be going Real Madrid because they had Cristiano Ronaldo. And then, of course, when he transferred to Juventus, people were now going Juventus. So I wouldn't be surprised if I see a Juventus, but I think on the main it's going to be PSG and France, and then maybe a few Liverpools as well.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. But I do believe, guys, we have got game number 2 ready. Myself, Shauna, and Adam are excited for this one as we're heading into game number 2 here for London United. We're going to see what teams it is. And there you go. It's France versus France. Now, Shauna, explain to me, if you're a player using France, for example, you know, yes, you've got Mbappe. However, you have got the likes of Ousmane Dembele as well. How important is it to have those players that are so good in your team and not just have the one player like Mbappe? You need to have multiple players that can do it all, right?
Yeah, absolutely. With me, I love to play with like 5-star skillers. So, you know, you have Dembele, who's a 5-star. So not just only having to rely on Mbappe to secure you some goals, you have Dembele, and obviously if you're doing PSG, you have Neymar. So absolutely, I believe one man can't carry a team. So it's super, super important to have all those players around you.
Now, one thing I'm excited to see is how many times you call Kingsley Coman, Quincy Coman, as not only is there one Kingsley Coman on the pitch, there's now 2 on the pitch. So that's going to be hilarious. But Adam, yourself, my friend, I know last year, for example, there was the likes of Mbappe who were heavy meta because of how good he is with the 5-star skills and weak foot. However, one player that was very popular last year was Ben Yedder as a striker. You know, his informs were very, very overpowered last year for those players that couldn't afford, you know, some of the bigger name icon strikers or some of the better strikers in the game. This year, have you noticed while playing FIFA Ultimate Team, for example, is Ben Yedder as good as he was last year? Because the majority of last year, for example, we used to play with Ben Yedder's inform cards, right? However, I don't even think he's had an inform this year.
He does have an inform this year, but I just want to say great minds think alike, because I was looking at this thinking Ben Yedder's not really had a mention yet, but I think he is just as good as last year. The only downside is that skills are a bit more important, and he only has that 4-star, not the 5-star, but he does have the weak foot. As you can see there, he faked to put it in the right corner, cut onto the left, and there was no stopping. But I've been watching this game closely, and the France in the home kit have been using really good skill moves. I've seen a bridge and an elastico, 2 pretty complex things to do, so I think this guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned there slightly that skill moves this year are slightly more viable than last year. I think last year, all we saw was, you know, the drag backs and the ball rolls for 99% of the season last year because they were so effective, because they could be done so quickly. But this year, you know, having those 5-star skillers, I mean, myself, for example, in my FIFA Ultimate Team, I love playing with the likes of, you know, Alan Saint-Maximin for that one particular reason. He's very fast and he's got quick feet and he's got a good use of his weak foot ability as well. And Ben Yedder doing exactly what you said he can do there is shift that onto his weak foot and put the ball in to the top corner. Now Shauna, the home team of France here, let's just do that. Let's call them home and away France. It'll probably be slightly easier for us. They've gone 1-0 up early, and this was something that I mentioned to you last game. If you go 1-0 up early here, can you see the squad of France, the home kit, sitting back and defending, or are you going to see them continue to go forward and try and score goals?
Well, I feel like 1-0 isn't safe in any game. So I'd like to see home France maybe score a second. And then if I was playing, I would, of course, concentrate on my defending, use my CDMs a lot more. But yeah, I would 100% think home France will attack just as it was 0-0.
And as you say that, it is going to be Kylian Mbappe who puts France, the home team, up 2-0 early on here. And this is a question that I want to ask you here, Adam. You've gone 2-0 down early in the game. Your back's against the wall. What do you do both mentally and physically within the game to, swing something back in your favour? Is it a change of custom tactics? Is it a change of formation? Do you substitute a player out super early? I mean, I know yourself, you've played, in the EPL, for example, for Watford. You've played against some of the best FIFA players that there are to play against. How do you go about, putting together some sort of game plan or statistical game plan to not only get yourself a goal back to level things up, but get 2 goals to level yourself back up?
Well, first of all, if you looked at the possession stat there, the home teams had just about 60% there. So if I'm the away team, although I'm 2-0 down, I think we need to get a foothold in the game. So I'd be looking at maybe slowing it down for 5 or 10 minutes just to get more comfortable on the ball and slow down these attacks, because the home team is using a lot of stepovers, which is really hard to stop. So you need to try and stop that momentum somehow. But we're 2-0 down. You have to keep that belief that you can get back into the game, because we've seen how quickly you can score goals in FIFA.
Yeah, not only that, I think what's going to happen right now is this is going to play more and more into the home squad of France's favour. They've got the likes of Coman, Mbappe, Ben Yedder, all very fast-paced players with very good weak foot abilities and very good skill move abilities. They're just going to get caught on a counter-attack so many times, and Anthony Martial doing what he's done relatively well IRL at the moment and put the ball anywhere but except in the back of the netters. I mean, I think if you're a football fan, or at least a FIFA fan, or especially a FIFA player, you've got to be finishing them sort of chances there, especially while 2-0 down here. Shauna, we can't see so many chances like that go amiss, can we? Or is that chance going to come back and haunt him, do you think?
Absolutely. You always think about those chances when you lose. So yeah, it's definitely going to come back to haunt him. He should have been at least 1 goal there. Then it would have been 2-1. He wouldn't have had to do much except from score another goal. So yeah, he really should have finished that. That was literally put on a plate for him. So hopefully he can bring a goal back right now.
We are going to see now ball at the feet of Paul Pogba, the French magician. He's got to try and get on the ball as much as possible. He's got to try and pull the strings in the midfield. As I say, that Mbappe's through on goal. Can he take the ball around the goalkeeper? He doesn't need to, as he lost the ball over the top of Hugo Lloris to score just before the stroke of half-time here with 39 minutes on the clock. Now that's going to really boost the away squad of France's confidence here, if I'm right, Adam. How important is getting a goal just before half-time, to go in at half-time, recoup with yourself, or should you have a coach if you're playing at a tournament to say, okay, we've done the hard job, we've broke that team down once, we know how to do it, let's do it again in the second half. How important is it to score just before half-time there?
Yeah, I think that was a massive goal, because definitely it's going to completely change the tone of how the players are thinking at half-time. But now he really needs to sit in and defend here, because there's a chance for Ben Yedder, and he's put it away again. Clinical on the weak foot once again, and that is a dagger. That one's certainly going to come back to haunt him if the first one didn't. There's a 2-goal margin now, and as he goes into half-time, I think he's going to be looking to maybe change those custom tactics, put his depth up a bit more and try and apply more pressure, which is also going to lead to the home team getting through on more counter-attacks. So this could really open up in the second half. I know we've had 4 in the first half, 4 goals, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's many more in the second half to come.
Yeah, and I mean, Sean, I just want you to kind of just carry that point on from what Adam's just said there. Do you think the change of depth is going to be the way forward, or is that just going to play into the hands of the home squad? Because you mentioned, they've got the likes of Mbappe, who's so ridiculously fast, likewise Ben Yedder. Would you like to see the depth come up here slightly from the away team to try and force the home team back?
For the away team, I would honestly just use my CDMs, don't bring none of my centre-backs out of position, because you can see how much space is being created, especially when you have Mbappe coming in behind. So yeah, I would 100% tell him just to use your CDMs a lot more and don't touch your centre-backs unless you have to, because you just see how much space he's getting, and he's just finishing every time. So I'd definitely tell him to slow it down, use your CDMs, and keep your centre-backs in line. That's it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, I mean, you've got central midfielders like Paul Pogba and N'Golo Kante, and I know, for example, N'Golo Kante in previous FIFAs has been one of the best central defensive midfielders on the actual game. Adam, yourself, let's talk from a strictly, FIFA Ultimate Team point of view. Now, the likes of the prime icons, the likes of Hullet, for example, all in the game. Are we going to see, these base cards be used at all? Because if anything, it gets, sort of in and around November, December, and we hardly see any of the top tier pro players or top tier FIFA players have any base cards in their team. And if it is, it's just going to be the likes of a Neymar or an Mbappe. Ball now at the feet of Kingsley Coman is going to shift the ball out wide towards Ben Yedder. Back to Coman. Into the feet of Kylian Mbappe. Mbappe trying to shift the ball onto either of his favoured feet with that 5-star weak foot. He can put the ball in from anywhere. The ball looks like it was going to go onto his right foot for a second there, but one touch too many as Rafa Varane is going to step in at the nick of time and intercept now. Ball at the feet of Yedder. Finds Martial, but Martial giving the ball away there. Falls to Hernandez. Hernandez plays a fantastic ball down the left-hand side to Kylian Mbappe. Mbappe has got a ball whipped into the box, and what a fantastic cross that was there from Mbappe to finally Tony Marshall is going to put the ball in to the back of the net. But what a fantastic cross there was from Mbappe there, Adam. Was you a fan of that cross?
Definitely. I think he's learned from the first time that he maybe pushed the stick a bit too wide for the first cross. He's managed to change the tone there and get that one in, so it's definitely game on now. And just coming back to the first point there that you were talking about, I think we will be seeing players like Kante, because there is actually rating restrictions in the pro qualifiers, so although there will be hullets, you won't be seeing too many icons in the same team because you're only really allowed 2 in the same team.
Yeah, exactly. You have to wait for those teams to qualify before they can sort of, you know, unleash the full teams that they want to use. And I know, especially for example, when we go into like the EPL seasons as well, that the likes of an N'Golo Kante is going to be used because he's going to be one of the best CDMs. That, oh my god, fantastic composure there from Kylian Mbappe to use that ball roll. And I would say, Sean, I don't know if you agree, you said you like to use the 5-star skills to do all the fancy skills, but sometimes just that simple ball roll that literally any player on FIFA can do, simple can be effective. Are you a fan of ball rolling much, Sean, or do you try to ball roll the keeper, or are you okay, I'm one-on-one, I'm panicking right now, let me just press my shoot button and hope for the best?
Well, FIFA 20, that was... oh, we've got one here. Ball roll again. Okay, so FIFA 20, that was an OP move, but as you can see, in FIFA 21, that still seems to be such a great move to score a goal. So he just scored 2 there by doing a ball roll just before shooting. So I guess I'm going to integrate that way more into my gameplay after seeing that. But yeah, I think the simple moves are the most effective, honestly, and that's what I really stick with. I stick with a ball roll, maybe like a Berber spin to create some space, and that's all really.
Ball now at the feet of Ferland Mendy. He's just going to elect to try and relieve some pressure, but that's actually turned out to a fantastic ball for Kingsley Coman, and he's going to be storming towards goal. He's one-on-one with the goalkeeper. He's going to probably slide the ball back to Mbappe, and fantastic defensive work there from the away side of France. You know, Lenglet put himself in a position between ball and man, so the ball couldn't be squared across the goal to Mbappe for a simple tap-in and force Kingsley Coman to take the shot at a tight angle, and he's not going to beat Hugo Lloris from there. But Mbappe, he's just really toying with this defence now. As I say that, the shot goes straight down the throat of Hugo Lloris, and if you're the home side of France here, you're looking pretty comfortable. I mean, Adam, what would you like to see the home squad from France do differently, if there is anything? I mean, he's 5-2 up, 3-goal advantage. He's pretty much cruising right now.
I would just like to see them doing exactly what they're doing and be relentless. That's nearly a 6th goal there. Just keep attacking because the spaces are opening up now, and he's using those ball rolls really well. That little ball roll can take a shot, for example. If you shoot in that position, it's going to be a 70% chance, but if you do the ball roll just to get a better angle, you're turning a 70% chance into a 95% chance. So he's using the margins really well and playing the percentages, which is leading to him winning this match.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say he's been very clinical as well. You know, I think there's not been too many chances except from that one there for Ben Yedder who struck the post, but 9 times out of 10 he's gone through on goal. He's put the ball into the back of the net. I'd love to see the shot accuracy stats at the end of the game to see how many shots are on target compared to the shots off target, as Coman gets down the right hand side once again here. And this is what I think you mentioned, Adam, that we're going to probably see the away squad from France try to press a little bit higher up the pitch, try to get their players up slightly, and it's pretty much exactly what you and Sean has said, that you're just going to get the counter-attack on every time. You're going to see the likes of Mbappe, Coman and Ben Yedder just flying behind the defence so quickly, and they're just picking them off and they're punishing them really, really well on the counter-attack. 15 minutes to go, Shauna, can you see the away side of France doing anything to get themselves back into the game here?
Honestly, I think home France has won this. You can just see look, he's just toying, like, absolutely. Home France for the win here. I think there might be another one here. Ball roll again, fake shot.
Oh, that's fantastic composure from Mbappe. That is fantastic football there from Mbappe, you know. And how many times do you see that, Adam, for example, at the highest standard of when you get the ball into Mbappe around the 18-yard box or inside the 18-yard box, rather, just a quick feat, you know, whether it be the R1 dribbling or, you know, those step overs or the cutbacks and the fake shots. We see that so many times in a pro game. How hard is that to defend against?
It's extremely hard to defend, especially when you're in this situation when you need to go and score goals, because he is toying with him there, but what he's also doing is maintaining the ball, because when you've got the ball there with a healthy lead, your opponent can't score unless they win it back, so they're going to be dragging people out to try and win it back, which is exactly what he did. And then the extra composure just to cut back onto the finesse. What I'm seeing from the home France right now, I'd have to put them favourites for the competition at this point, because I know they've just conceded there, but the use of skills in the attack and the composure has been brilliant. I think if there's a bit more game management there, then I don't see how this team can be stopped.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm just thinking back to the first game that we watched, Sean, where it was all a little bit gung-ho, to say the least, and everyone was, you know, I feel like both players were amped up a little bit. There was no composure. Looking at this game, what's the main difference you've seen between the two sets of teams that we've seen from the first game, Sean, to this game here?
Well, there's a lot of skills being used in this game, and I feel like just defensively it's way better. I see a lot of jockeying. I see, you know, players switching in a way that, you know, they know they've obviously played weekend league. So yeah, I just feel like there's just a lot more skills being implemented into this game rather than the last game we both saw.
Yeah, and there you have it. Kylian Mbappe is going to pick up the match ball. 6 shots, 4 on target. 6 shots on target, 4 goals make that. And we are going to see France advance through to the next stage of the bracket. Some fantastic football on display there. And this is a question I want to ask you, Adam. I mean, yourself being, you know, a high-tier FIFA player who's played in some of the very important competitions, could you see these types of players taking that next step to go pro? What similarities are you seeing from these types of players to the players that, for example, you might play or you might see finish inside the top 100 on Weekend League?
I think the similarities are definitely there. You can see them; they're using the meta skill moves, the best skill moves in the right situations. I think the attacking capabilities there. I think we need to be a bit more solid in defence, and that will come just from adding a bit more game management. So, for example, if you are in the lead, there's nothing wrong with just keeping the ball for 5 minutes, because not only is that running the clock down, but it's also really going to frustrate your opponent. So, a bit more game management, and there's no reason why these players can't get to the top if they just keep entering tournaments like this, enter as many tournaments as possible, practice against people better than them, and then there's no reason why they can't keep progressing, because everyone can be good at FIFA. It doesn't matter what level you are. If you want to put the work in and you want to improve, you can get those results.
Yeah, and Sean, I just kind of want to ask your opinion on sort of that same question that I've just asked as well. You know, like going forward, these players, surely they're gonna watch the likes of, you know, the Tex, for example, who's one of the best players in FIFA at the moment. Yourself personally, how do you find that you improve as a FIFA player? Is it, you know, going back, do you watch your streams back from last Weekend League before you go into the new Weekend League? Or do you ask your supporters or your chat, for example, that what can I do differently? How do you find your game management? How do you make the changes that you need to make?
Well, I remember I started FUT Champs in FIFA 19 and I was struggling. So I literally just went on Twitch and watched some pros and just seeing how they moved their players and how just they moved the ball basically. And, you know, they didn't rush into things. Whereas me, I would just try, you know, play like FIFA 15, let's say, and just try and do through balls or try and shoot as quick as I could. Whereas the pros, they really do take their time. So that's really how I improved, was to just look at how better people play rather than how I play.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm very much the same. I always try to watch my own gameplay back and compare it to some of the better players, some of the best pro players, for example. But unfortunately, that is all we've got time for game number 2. We are going to throw it back to our delightful host, Rambo, as I think he's going to just entertain us as he always does. You know, Rambo, I'm going to have a word with you after this, mate, because you said that no one wants to look at your ugly mug for the rest of the day. But let me tell you right now, I mean, you're going the right way for a Head and Shoulders contract after this stream. over to Rambo.
Yeah, John, you've complimented multiple times. I would say the same about you. You've been wearing a cap So maybe we could do a duo Head and Shoulders, L'Oreal, all of the shampoos are applicable. But thank you very much for that. Yeah, cracking game. I was watching the game, and the whole time I was thinking, both of these guys would absolutely batter me, which got me feeling a bit sad. So I took a little drink, took a back seat, and just enjoyed two very good FIFA players. Time for a quick ad. We'll see you in about 60 seconds.
Yop, a snack you can drink. Supporting you to make a positive change. Yop, no limits.
Welcome back. I hope that ad break allowed you to go get a quick drink, because I've had a lot of sips of this little bottle that's right here, so I'm going to have to refill after this game. But just before we get over to John, Shauna and Adam, we'll give them a bit of time to get a sip of drink, whatever beverage they've chosen. The Yop Esports Champs, we also hosted a social media management workshop, which I personally really thoroughly enjoyed. It was supported by Fnatic, Man City and Leyton Orient. Here's a little clip of Billy Elliott from Morley College.
Esports at Morley College is a creative program aimed at age of 16 and over, where we learn very creative and competitive skills. The best thing about this course is learning these skill sets, which include creative skills, graphic skills, and also competitive skills. So working as a team with your teammates when you're playing competitively, and also having communication skills.
My favourite thing about the course is probably being able to play games and do work with not only my classmates but also my teammates.
I'm happy and excited to be part of the new industries, and which is going to allow me to get new careers and jobs in the future.
My advice for anyone wanting to join the course would be to know that it's not just gaming, and that it's more so to get more skilled in the industry and also to better learn your teammates.
Well, obviously it wasn't Billy. Clearly I don't read my notes properly. Billy, of course, led the lecture. Those were the students in the workshop and his lecture students. There we go, got there in the end. Maybe I need to pay a bit more attention to the notes. My apologies. Back to you, John, Shauna and Adam for the third game. I'm hoping that it's similar standard to the last two, where I sit back and just enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some great FIFA on display. You know, it's been a fantastic event thus far. We've seen some really high standard of FIFA, especially in that last game. I mean, I don't know about you, Shauna. I'm that person who I most definitely judge a book by its cover, and I saw the first game, and I was like, okay, we're just in for an absolute goal fest of a tournament for here. But after that second game, you know, seeing that player who played for France at home, they knew how to play FIFA. You could see that, you know, they were moving the ball well. They were defending correctly with their centre midfielders. They were knew when to go forward, knew when to keep the ball. And I'm very excited heading into this game number 3 now. I know yourself, Shauna, you are you're a FIFA content creator, so no doubt any of the multiple promos that EA release throughout the year excites you. We're obviously currently in the Foot Freeze promo at the moment. Obviously, Footmas, I don't know if Footmas is actually going to be happening this year. I'm a huge fan of Footmas myself. Are you a fan of the new Foot Freeze promo, or are you more of a, like, I want Footmas back kind of person?
I like the card design. That's all I'm going to say. But for me, I just saved my money for Team of the Year. Team of the Year, which is going to be in like a month. So I try and stay away from what's happening because, you know, I'm a little bit of an addict when it comes to like cards and stuff like that. So I'd rather just save up for Team of the Year. Honestly, that's what.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a FIFA point addict as well. I remember last year when it was Team of the Year, I spent a lot of money on packs, for example. And not only that, I made the great decision of trusting my 12-year-old little brother to successfully buy FIFA points for me. I then had a call from my bank Santander to say, okay, why has X amount come out of your account? And I was like, okay, yeah, I told him to buy 12,000, not 120,000 FIFA points. So, yeah, you can imagine how that went down. But anyways, yeah, just carrying on that Foot Freeze point. We have got the game ready, guys. So we are going to jump straight into the next game for you here. We are going to be seeing yet again another Paris Saint-Germain, and it looks like they're going to be lining up against Liverpool again. Oh, sorry, no, sorry. We're going to have a France versus Liverpool. Sorry, it is being played at the home of Paris Saint-Germain, the Stade de Paris. And we are going to hopefully see a game similar to game number 2, where it was a little bit more competitive. It wasn't so, gung-ho as to you score, I score, let's score as many goals as we can and outscore each other. And hopefully, yeah, we're in for a good couple more games. And, Sean, while we're waiting for this game to build up and a few attacks start to mount, how are you enjoying, commentating FIFA and being a little bit more on pressure in terms of being in front of the camera? But as I say that, it looks like Mbappe is going to cancel my point out. And I was trying to, have a conversation with you. Mbappe had otherwise because it stuck France 1-0 up already. But yeah, let's go back to that point. How are you enjoying, commentating FIFA in opposed to just sitting there and playing it? Because myself, when I stream, I feel no pressure while streaming because I'm like, okay, these guys clearly like me because they wouldn't watch me. However, these guys at home are going to want to watch the tournament. They're not here for us. How are you enjoying commentating FIFA, as Diego Yota puts it as well?
Well, it's good to actually sit back and analyze. I think this will actually help me improve as a FIFA player because normally I'll just play and turn it off. I don't even watch it back just because it's just stress for me at the moment. But watching how people play and the right decisions, the wrong decisions, I think it's going to be a good lesson for me to know what pass to make or what tackle to take or things like that. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and I think it's going to work out well for me.
Yeah, who knows? We might see you have a long career in commentating esports at some point soon. But guys, while you're at home, if you're watching this, do not forget to use the Twitch integration Sport Buff, which you can win multiple prizes from. And simply, all you have to do is hover over the screen and click on the poll that is happening right now. I'm currently on the stream myself, and there is a poll that says, I think the last one was, do you think there's going to be more than a certain type of amount of goals this game? You either click yes or you click no, and you can win some prizes for it. So make sure you guys in the stream get interactive throughout, not only just these FIFA games, but as well as the NBA games that are going on after this, and get involved in it. Yourself, Sean, how interesting is it for a viewer to have sort of in-game mini stream games that are happening to, keep the players or keep the viewers rather interested in the stream while there's not too much going on?
I like the integrations just because, say the ball's just getting built up in the midfield, you can just quickly answer a question or, really take part in a way. So yeah, I think it's really fun to integrate the overlay stream questions. And yeah, I think everyone should get involved.
Yeah, and for any of you people that are watching at home that are fans of Manchester clubs between Manchester United or Manchester City, as I'm neither, but I do like to watch a derby. It's currently 0-0 in that game for anyone that wants a bit of an update on the IRL scores in the Premier League. But the ball now, feet of Wijnaldum, tries to slip in Mohamed Salah, but it's going to be Hernandez who gets there just in the nick of time. Hugo Lloris now, a bit of an iffy ball out there as it drops to Mohamed Salah. Can he cut in on his left foot? That was a bit of a questionable offside call there. I'm not too sure how tight that was. One thing I would love to see, Sean, is VAR in FIFA somehow. I think that would send the FIFA community into a spiral. Would you like to see VAR in FIFA? I think I would love it just for the memes that would happen.
I feel like a video game should be just automatic VAR. Like, I do feel like the decisions should be correct 99.9% of the time. Whereas, you know, this weekend, Varane didn't even touch my opponent and they got a penalty. So, you know, I don't know. I just feel like VAR should just be automatic in video games. And we got a goal from Mane. Mane, I told you, Mane is one to look out for. You know, Mane is unstoppable on FIFA21. I cannot hold him at all.
I know a lot of people. This was sort of a very similar meta to the way Mane played last year. Although his card is a left winger, a lot of people have the custom tactics set, so he plays as a striker in game because of how quick he is. He can finish with both feet, and he's got fantastic finishing as well. So it doesn't surprise me to see here. It looks like he's playing up front for Liverpool, and he's scoring the goals. He's being the bagsman for them. So Liverpool now the away side, 2-1 up. It's up to France to try and do something to steer the game back in their favour. And no doubt you're going to want to see the likes of Paul Pogba get on the ball to try and dictate play in that central midfield role. And I think now we're going to start to see towards the business stage of the tournaments where we start to see these players advance through round by round, that they might slow the ball down a little bit. They might try to take their time, force the players to make the mistakes, go back if it's not working, keep the ball. You don't have to force the errors out of the team, let the other team make the mistakes. And as I say that, it looks like France tried to force their way through, Liverpool overturned the ball, and now it's Mohamed Salah who goes down the right-hand side. 1-2 with Alexander-Arnold. He tries to find Mane inside, but does get dispossessed. The ball now at the feet of Paul Pogba. Mbappe shifts it out wide to Martial. Martial does try to find the overlapping of the Frenchman Mbappe, but does get intercepted. However, man, going in towards the half-time mark here, what are you doing if you're France here, Shauna? That you kind of want to get a goal before half-time, but let's be honest, going in 2-1 down at half-time isn't the worst of things that could happen, right?
Absolutely not. I feel like if he just, takes his time, make these types of balls, maybe bring it outside for a sweat, or he nearly did what you had to do to get a goal right there on FIFA. But this isn't the worst position you could be in just before halftime. I feel like this is easily this could turn around 100%. Oh no, easily.
A little bit unfortunate. Sorry to cut you off there. I do apologise. But what I wanted to see there was the ball spun to Ben Yedder, perfectly. All we had to do was, finesse that with his left foot. He's going to finish it from there. He's got a very good use of his weak foot as well. But he tried to get the ball back to Mbappe, to that trusted striker that is probably one of the best players in world football at the moment. And the chance goes to waste. But as I say that, Kingsley Coman, or Quincy, as you would say, is through on goal. But does get intercepted by Rafa Varane. And that's going to be catching practice for Alisson. As Alisson pumps the ball forward, he can't find Mane. And the ball now in possession of Paul Pogba. Pogba out to Coman. Coman drops the ball back to Kante. Kante does find Coman. It looks like for a second Mendy was going to find the overlap, but he does slit in. Kingsley Coman, the ball to Ben Yedder, to Mbappe. Fantastic football from France there, Shauna. As for a second, I thought he'd made a bad decision into slotting the ball into Mbappe because he looked like he may have strayed just offside, but luckily for him, he held his run to perfection. And let me tell you something right now, you could probably tell me equally as well that Kylian Mbappe is not going to miss from 5 yards out.
Mbappe is one of the most dangerous players on this game. As you can tell, everybody has Mbappe in the ultimate team. So, okay. I thought that would have been a foul. But no, so yeah, they wrapped it up into, we're going to find out who's going to win in the next half. Maybe it might be a golden goal. Who knows?
Yeah, well, we are currently, 3-1 now in favour of France. 2-2, Robert. What am I talking about? We saw Mbappe get that late equaliser. And, I mentioned to you that 2-1 is not the worst of scorelines to go in at half-time off of. The next goal is going to be crucial. And it was France who even found that next goal just before the stroke of half-time. And let's just look at those possession stats right now quickly, please. 2% possession, in favour of France. 100% shot accuracy as well, and 90% passing accuracy for France. 5 shots, 5 on target for France, 2 on target after 2 shots for Liverpool. Liverpool, converting the 2 shots that they've had on target into actual goals after a few misses, however, from France, or should I say easy saves rather, for the Liverpool goalkeeper Alisson. And now 2-2 going into the second half here. if you're going into a Foot Champs game, let's just talk about if it was Foot Champs, for example, Shauna. You're 2-2 after half time. You want to win this game in 90 minutes. I've already asked you this question. You said you want to win in 90 minutes. What are you going to do to make sure you do that while sitting at 2-2? How are you going to try and score the next goal, but make sure you're not left open at the back?
Well, 100%, I would be way more clinical in the final third. As you can see, I feel like France is maybe underestimating how easy it is to score, maybe overthinking the simple moves. I could see Sweats. He could literally just pass it across the goal and score. So you have one here, pass it. There we go. We got a Sweat. See, most of the time France is overthinking, but there we have it. We have a goal. So now it's 3-2 to France.
Yeah, some great analytical work there from you as well, Shauna, may I say. You literally called what's going to happen, and that is literally any caster's dream. If you predict something and it happens, you're like, great, now I actually look like I know what I'm talking about. So that's always great to have. But yeah, I was literally just going to agree with you. There's been so many times where Mbappe's spanning down the right-hand side or in behind, or likewise Coman. And there's been so many chances for them to square the ball across goal, but they haven't done it. They've tried to cut it back in and take the shot on their own, and before you know it, they get muscled out, and the likes of Virgil van Dijk, as he does there, just comes away with the ball. And it's great to see, this squad of France here who are learning from their mistakes. A simple ball across the goal, and it actually was an own goal, which I thought was a little bit unlucky because it looked like it was Martial who was coming at the back post for the tap-in. But now, speaking of the man Martial, has got the ball at his feet, slips the ball into Yedda. Yedda out to Kante. Kante finds Coman, but he just strides offside. That must have been very, very close there, Sean. I mean, we're talking a couple yards offside, and that's one where I'd like to have seen the VAR lines draw up so we can see just how close it was. But ball now at the feet of Coman. Coman twisting and turning, trying to get away from that left back, Andrew Robertson. But Joe Gomez is going to be in there to step in and win the ball. Fabinho now finds Mane. Mane finds Firmino. Firmino out wide to Diego Jota. Jota does get tackled. Fantastic tackle from Ferland Mendy there. How good is actually Ferland Mendy this year, Sean? Last year, he was the go-to right back to use. Is he in a lot of ultimate teams this year?
Yeah. Mendy is the one to go for, honestly. I have him at left back, and I haven't used anybody since getting him. So yeah, I see Mendy every single ultimate team I play against. So yeah, he's definitely the best wing back on the game. I would 100% agree with that.
I mean, especially as well if you've got the likes of a France build. Oh my God, Mbappe has rainbow flicked Virgil van Dijk and put the ball into the back of it. Shut the stream off. We're going home. We're not watching it anymore. Me and Shauna, we're gonna go and do our own. We're streaming. We're gonna go and stream on our own channels now. We can't allow that to happen. We can't allow that to happen and the stream continue. All right, I'm sorry, but that is just confident play there from France. And Mane now is going to try and bag himself a goal back. And if that happened, Shauna, if that was to have happened to you, right, in FIFA Ultimate Team, on Foot Champs, how would you react? Because if it was me, my PS4 would have been out the window, or some sort of device would have been broken in my house if that had happened to me.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I do those goals a lot. I know I'm bad, but I was a big fan of FIFA Street. So anytime I have an opportunity to do a rainbow flick or a cheeky R3 volley sequence to the goal, I'm definitely gonna do it. But it's all fun. I don't feel like. No, I'm lying. I'll definitely rage quit. But yeah, I love those goals.
Don't sugarcoat it there. We all know what would happen. We know the control is getting broke.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I was a huge fan of FIFA Street, as well. I was super excited when Volta come back, but Volta didn't really do it for me like FIFA Street did. I don't know if it was just like the old school arcadey type of feel on the PlayStation 2 that did it for me, but. I mean, I'm a big fan of, skill moves in general. That's why I'm seeing Mbappe do the elasticos and the ball rails now, and it's just music to my ears. I love to see it as, if you're Liverpool, you've got 12 minutes left to go. You've got to try and get yourself back in the game, but it just doesn't look like... This is like a very solid all-round performance from France at the moment. I think they'll probably be a little disappointed to have conceded 2 goals as well, because they've really, really dominated this game.
France is playing really, really good, actually. I don't really see the defense getting broken down anytime soon. So yeah, it's just going to be, he made a mistake in the defense. Maybe this is the opportunity. But the defense is so solid, so solid.
Luckily for Varane there, he kind of saves you a little bit, because you know how I just praised you for calling something that was going to happen. You almost called the opposite of what was going to happen for a second there, as it was like it was going to come into play. But Rafa Varane, again, a very solid centre back on this game, comes in the nick of time to save the day. The ball now at the feet of Varane does get intercepted, however, by Fabinho as he tries to thread the ball through towards Ben Yedder. Mane now to Roberto Firmino. Firmino out wide finds Jota. Jota back to Firmino. Fantastic one-touch football here from Liverpool, but Rafa Varane once again, he's so quick to those sort of reactions on this game. He finds the interception, and there you go. He springs a counter-attack for France. Koeman now making his way down the right-hand side of the field, pops it inside to Kante. Kante finds Martial. Martial trying to twist and turn to get it to Mbappe. He does just that. Fantastic turn there as he completely bamboozles the Liverpool defence, but this is all France at the moment. Liverpool can't keep the ball for more than 2 seconds. As I say that, they do come away slightly, but it's that man again. Rafa Varane is played so solidly for this French lineup. The ball's going to be threaded through. Two Kings, rainbow flip the keeper, please. He wanted to rainbow flip the keeper there, but the keeper didn't come out. He hits the post, however, and the ball does fall back to Koeman. 5-2 for France. And this is just a clinical performance from this France team here. You know, I would love to see the possessional stats at the end of the game and the shooting stats, even the passing accuracy, because there's not been too many passes from this French lineup that have gone astray. Fantastic performance here. And Mbappe bagging himself another hat-trick. How many times have we seen Mbappe just run through teams so far this tournament and just in FIFA in general, man? He's such a well-trusted striker. You know, you mentioned the fact that you see Mendy as a fullback or as a wing-back in most teams. If you've got the money to afford him, that was Stingray. That was my friend Stingray. I didn't know Stingray was playing in this. He's a very good FIFA. I would imagine he was France. If he was not France, I'm going to be in his DMs talking some mad trash later on.
Yeah, I know Stingray too. I've known Stingray for ages, yeah.
Yeah, I think I've known him for a few years now. Yeah, he used to come and watch my streams all the time. Great FIFA player, and it wouldn't have surprised me if that was him using France. If not, he will be getting banter off both Shauna for the rest of the evening. So really solid performance there from France. I mean, Mbappe, he's such a delight to watch. I mean, do you have him in your actual ultimate team, Shauna? Do you play with him, or are you one of those people that are kind of trying to save up for Mbappe to put him in the team later on?
I'm definitely saving up, but I do have I do put a lot of FIFA points on this year. So I do have Inform Ben Yedder, Inform Marcus Rashford, and base card Neymar. So right now I don't have a bad team, but absolutely I will be saving up for Mbappe. I think he's just over 1 million coins right now. So yeah, he's definitely one of those players I need in my squad. Just every time you watch him, he's bagging goals. So yeah, most definitely I'm getting him next time I can.
Yeah, the good thing about Mbappe as well is he has the ability to play, either as a winger or as a striker as well, because he's so fast. Playing out wide, he can get in behind and put the ball across goal, or cutting on his left foot if he's playing on the right-hand side and score because he's got such a great use of his weak foot, or cutting from the left and put the ball in with his right foot because of his strong foot so good. So there's so many options you can use while having the likes of an Mbappe in your squad. So if there's any FIFA players at the moment that, have a spare 1 million coins lying around for some reason, go out and pick up Kylian Mbappe. You will definitely thank us and not regret it. And we have just got confirmation it was actually Stingray who was playing for France, so he does advance through to the next stage of the game. We are just waiting for confirmation as to when we can throw back to Rambo. But going forward, Shauna, in the next stages of the competition, I do believe we're going to be back on Wednesday. I'm not too sure if you're going to be joining me on Wednesday. I think you might be for the next rounds of the competitions. What would you like to see differently on Wednesday in comparison to what we've seen today? Because, Wednesday's the last chance to qualify.
I want to see a lot more like defensive players. I want to see like closer games. There's loads of goals going in today. I would like to see, yeah, absolutely, yeah. I'd like to see like a slower game. You don't know if who's going to win, basically, rather than just somebody taking it home and then playing with the defense, basically. So yeah, tighter games, 100%. I'd like to see, because it gets you going, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, that is unfortunate we've got time for this part of the show. We are going to throw to a quick commercial break. So guys, do not go anywhere. Get yourself a snack, get yourself a drink, and we will be back after this short break.
Yop, a snack you can drink. supporting you to make a positive change. Yop, no limits.
I just had a countdown to say I'm coming to you, John, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I've literally thrown everything out of my hands across my room to get back ready in time. But welcome back, guys. We are heading into the final game here for the qualification stage here at London United for this tournament that we are running for you. It's been a great game, a great tournament thus far, Shauna. I mean, going into the final, I know we have our friend Stingray who's playing it, who we know is a very good FIFA player. I'm not too sure who the other player was or what team he was playing with, in the other games that we've seen. But if Stingray can perform just as well as he did in that last game, in this next game, it's definitely going to be, a game that is going to be worth watching. Going into a final, let's put this into some sort of situation that you might be able to relate to. You've got one game left on Weekend League. You win the game, you finish Elite 3. You lose the game, you're staying in Gold 1 for another week. How are you going to approach that game?
One word is composure, which I don't have. So, I will never be Elite 3. But composure is such a big part of FIFA and being competitive. That's probably why I could never be the top of the top, because I just don't have the composure. So, yeah, if that was the case, I would just keep calm, focus, don't rush into anything. Maybe, just try and keep possession first and build up rather than go straight in and try and score.
Yeah, I think composure is definitely the word. The ultimate act of composure I've ever seen was, if we cast our mind back to the EPL last year, where it was Tex. I can't remember who Tex was playing in the final, but I think he was either 2-1 down or it was 2-2, and instead of going forward, he passed the ball back to his goalkeeper. It then forced the opponent's team to press up the pitch. He got in down the side, he whipped the ball in, and it was like a 94th minute winner or something like that with Dominic Calvert-Lewin, the Player of the Month card he had at the time. And everyone in esports FIFA erupted, and that was probably the most ultimate act of composure I've ever seen. So composure is definitely key in a tournament here. You no doubt these players, they might be a little bit nervous because they're playing for some big prizes here that are being brought to us by London United and all the partners of the tournament. So you've got to try and keep composed, try and keep cool, think to yourself, okay, yes, there's a lot on the line, but this is just another game of FIFA. We've got here, we've done it. I've literally just performed well. I've won 5 or 6-1 or whatever it was in the last game. Let's do exactly the same and let's try and pick it up. But one thing I want to say, guys, is we are currently running a giveaway to win a brand new next-gen console of the PS5, which, if you guys know anything about the next-gen consoles, they are extremely hard to come by and rare to come by. So huge thank you to Yop via a competition with Asda, in which way you can be enter yourself into winning a PlayStation 5 and experiencing some amazing next-gen gameplay. Follow the rules in the chat as to how to enter. And I mean, yourself, Shauna, you said you've got your hands on a PS5. I unfortunately haven't had a chance of getting my hands on one yet. What is it like playing next-gen compared to playing FIFA on the old-gen consoles? You yourself said you've had to go back to 4th gen, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just, obviously it's limited right now with everybody who has PS5s, and I'm guessing whoever got their hands on one was like me and was waiting up at night, he's proper serious about gaming. So that's really who I'm playing against, is people who take it serious. And yeah, I find myself, it's a struggle, honestly. On Friday I went 2-2 in the weekend league, and then I switched back, and then I ended up being like 7-2. So that just speaks for itself, really. But other than that, like, everything just feels, it does feel better. The gameplay is better, the menus are better, everything's like super fast on next gen.
Yeah, and I feel like it's going to be a big learning curve, especially with just how smoother the gameplay is going to be, which shouldn't be a bad thing for players. But when you're so used to sort of like a jaggedy type of gameplay, you change your play style to fit the way it feels. I mean, a great example is I've just switched from a 60 Hz monitor to a 240 Hz monitor, and even the difference of the way the game looks, and it feels so much smoother that it can throw you off of your game sometimes. I mean, that's probably just me making excuses for being tragically bad at video games, but I'll take it while I can. So yeah, the switch to 5th gen is going to be a huge jump for a lot of players, especially some of the younger players as well that haven't experienced, the 1st gen, 2nd gen, 3rd gen, and experienced all the generations as they come by. So I'm excited to see once everyone does fully switch to PlayStation 5. No doubt, I think you have got some FIFA, I think it's like the E-World Cup or something like that going on, or the qualifiers, or the Club World Cup qualifiers going on over the next few weeks for pro players. I think that's going to be played on PS5 and the newer gen console, so I'm going to be interested to see how the gameplay is going to look from a professional standpoint. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see once that switch does fully happen. Now yourself, I mean, are you a PlayStation person through and through, or do you have an Xbox as well, or did you used to play for the Xbox and then switch to the PlayStation? What sort of like your story of console generation?
I rep PlayStation like nobody. I love PlayStation so much. So obviously the controllers were smaller and obviously past consoles, but this console, the next gen, is kind of like Xbox, like a little big, and so that was a struggle just switching from like controller wise. But yeah, I am 100% a PlayStation girl. I think I bought an Xbox because, do you remember like the icons were on Xbox exclusively at one point? So yeah. I tried to get into it and I just couldn't. And then the next year they made it like cross console for the icon. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm a PlayStation.
Yeah, I think it was like FIFA 17 or FIFA 18 maybe. It was the icon exclusives on Xbox, but I'm glad that they changed, it to being cross-plat. Could you imagine like in pro tournaments that the Xbox player has like icons and the other guy's using like under Jordan Henderson in central midfield trying to defend against Ruud or something like that. That would be that'd be ridiculous. We are currently just waiting to get into the next game. We do apologize about the delays, but again, make sure you guys do enter that PlayStation 5 giveaway, because although it is going to be very much rigged for myself to win it, it's taking part that counts, kids. That's the main thing. But do follow the rules in the chat in order to enter yourself into winning it. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity to get a next gen console, especially with how hard to come by they are. And don't forget to use our Sport Buff extension and overlay as well, because after this we have got an NBA tournament coming up, an NBA side of the bracket as well running. Which yourself, Shauna, do you play any NBA? Do you shoot some hoops now and then, or are you just more of a I'm just going to stick to kicking around? You do?
I love 2K so much. Yes, that is one of my favorite games, honestly. Like FIFA 2K, yeah. Especially when I think it was 2016, I completely switched over to just playing NBA. But to defend in 2K, you use your L2 button, right? So then when I switched back to FIFA, I was just like using my L2, like jockeying, and I was way better at defending than I was like the previous year. So playing both games kind of helps you in a way, because the defensive control is legit like the same as the FIFA one. So yeah, it helped me a lot, and 2K is just lovely. That's all I can say about 2K.
I just love that. Just sounded like a marketing pitch. 2K, please hire me. I love your game. That's pretty much what it is. But no, yeah. I mean, I've not played too much 2K. My little brother Connor, he loves the game. So much so that we ended up rigging up like a basketball hoop in our back garden so we could play. But I have two staffs, so they had other ideas on the gameplay at the same time. So, finding a basketball in my house is quite a mission sometimes. But I try to play it a little bit, but I just I love watching NBA. I love watching the All-Star game, for example, and the NBA finals that happen. However, I just can't wrap my head around some of the rules that happen in basketball. I don't know if it's because I'm a stereotypical British guy, who I stick to soccer and all the American high school kids, they stick to basketball. I thought that's the way it is in the UK. We have football and rugby. Those guys have their version of football and basketball. But yeah, I think I shot 1 3-pointer in my life. I quit the game and I was like, I'm the best. I'm just going to retire at that. There's no point in me continuing because I've already completed the game. But yeah, we are going to actually bring in Adam, I think, to have a chat with us about the pro side of things for FIFA. Adam, was I correct in saying that at the moment, I think it's this weekend and a few of the following weekends, we have got the Club World Cup qualifiers going on right now for FIFA. What's it like to, try and compete in those and play from an actual player's point of view?
Well, so it starts on the 16th, 17th. It's the preparation has started for me. I've been preparing for that for a week now. It's a lot harder than you'd think just to prepare because you're putting in a lot more hours, and it's not just playing the game. You have to spend time watching the games back. You have to watch. You don't have to watch, but I think it's a good idea to watch your nutrition, try and keep healthy, maintain a good sleeping pattern. It's important that you're not peaking at 4 a.m. So you're playing FUT Champs at 4 a.m, playing your best FIFA, because you're never going to play in a tournament that starts at 4 a.m. So it's important to make sure you're kind of performing at the right times just to be ready for when the real tournament comes around.
Yeah, and I mean, from someone like your point of view, who, like I mentioned, you represented Watford at the EPL, your teammate Jonesy represented Manchester United at the EPL. Do you still feel any added nerves or pressure going into these big tournaments? Or because you've kind of been there and done it, you've played at some quite significantly large tournaments that you don't necessarily feel the players as much as a newer FIFA player would? Or, for example, if myself or Shauna, for example, would probably try to play in the Club World Cup qualifiers, my hands would probably be like this, and I wouldn't even know how to hold the controller. I don't know about you, Shauna.
That's 100% me. That is 100% me. I get so nervous even going into FUT Champs sometimes. So yeah, I could not do well in the pro scene. Absolutely not.
I think
so would you get nervous?
I do still get nervous, but I think you learn how to use the nerves to your advantage. So I think if I don't have those nerves, I can't play to the best of my ability because the nerves keep you locked in. So I'm not really nervous about. I feel like if you prepare properly before the tournament, you're not nervous about what could go wrong because you've gave yourself the best possible chance to do well, and that's all you can do really. So for me, those nerves aren't there, and I think I definitely can use them to my advantage. You can notice if your opponent's switching too much around the box or bringing their centre backs out that they look a bit nervous, and it's all about spotting that and trying to prey on those nerves.
Yeah, exactly. And I think one thing in particular as well is how you adjust your own gameplay in certain situations. I mean, every single time you play a game of FIFA, especially for you, Adam, in tournaments, you have your set game plan, right? You know what your custom tactics are. You know the way that you're going to approach the game. You've probably done your research on the player that you're playing. Okay, he likes to press quite high, so maybe I should keep the ball and try and exploit my fast wingers or attackers going in behind, just as an example. When someone changes their playstyle mid-game, how hard is it for you to then readjust your playstyle to match that new playstyle throughout an actual game that's happening?
For me, I always try and just play my own game because I want to try and be the one who sets the standard and stuff, so I want them to have to adapt to me. But if, for example, I do have to adapt, it would be a case of maybe lowering my depth or maybe not pressing as high, kind of sitting in and kind of riding the storm of their attacks and then trying to hit them on the counter attack. It depends really, because there's sometimes maybe you're just struggling to keep the ball or whatever. You need to just kind of slow it down a bit, and because if you're giving the best players chances to attack you constantly and giving the ball away too easy, they're going to score one of them. So sometimes it's just a case of trying to calm it down and keep the ball away from them, because when you have it, I say it so much, they can't score. So even if you're playing bad, it's the best thing to do is just get the ball back and try and build something of your own. Whether that has to take 20 minutes, it's still worth it in the end if you can get that chance.
Yeah, exactly. So guys, don't forget you can still sign up. We have got another qualifier on Wednesday, which is going to be the 16th. So if you guys didn't make it this time around and you want to try and make it into the grand finals, we have got another qualifier on Wednesday. Now, yourself, Shauna, how are you going to adapt your gameplay? I mean, I've literally just asked that question to Adam, but when you got your backs against the wall, you've said a few times you've been losing in FUT Champs games, and sometimes you try to use your central midfielders slightly more. Is it sort of echoing what Adam says in terms of just, maybe lowering your depth to adapt to the situation and then go from there? Or how do you personally deal with it?
Well, obviously, I'm not as advanced as the pros, so you know what? I just go to a narrow formation. I played that for over a year in FIFA 20. So I just switch to that and just try and get as many attackers on the ball as possible, and try and score. But also, keeping most of my players back and not trying to rush things. But yeah, I would just go to a narrow formation. It's just what I know. And I feel like it's a more goal scoring formation for me. So yeah, that's kind of what I do when I'm losing. It's just change formation.
Would you ever like to compete in a tournament like this, Shauna? Like, would you like to try and compete at a higher level than FUT Champs to see if you can, maybe make a little bit of noise in the scene and think, oh my God, Shauna's actually quite good at this game, and she's not just a streamer? Or would you like to compete in a tournament, or are you just happy to be like, you know what, I'm gonna just sit back? My chat can roast me. I don't care. I'm happy just being behind the camera as a streamer.
Yeah, I think I'm most definitely a content creator. I don't think I could do that just because I just get nervous at everything. I'd run myself into the ground thinking, I'd just get angry. So yeah, definitely just a content creator and try and play this game for fun rather than win all the time, because it's not healthy for me.
And yourself, Adam, who are some of, the go-to role models or players that you might look to learn from within the community? For example, myself, I'm a huge fan of Tex. I love to watch the way Tex plays. And from a content creator's point of view, I love to watch the likes of Castro streams, because although he's not a pro player, he's still relatively very good at the game and he has fun while doing it. So who do you like to watch? Is there any particular pros in general that you like to watch to try and learn from their gameplays where you thought, okay, I've seen this custom tactic, or I've seen the way that he's set up, could I maybe implement that into my game? Is there anyone in particular that you've sort of looked at?
I like watching Boras Legend, and the reason for that is I watched all his tutorials when I was an up-and-coming player. He always kind of helps out with the basics, but the basics can go a long way. So I would say I like watching him, and he's one of the people I think if I didn't see his tutorials, I wouldn't be where I am. So if you are looking to improve, Boras is definitely a good place to start. But yeah, Tex for me as well. I quite like looking up to Tex because we are the same age and from the same kind of area, not in terms of location, but kind of similar background, I would say, in terms of he came from nowhere and just kind of shot onto the scene.
Yeah.
And he was doing a coaching football course in real life, which was similar to me. So if he can change his career path like that, then there's no reason why I couldn't. So I enjoy looking up to Tex as well.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. And I think I don't know about you, Shauna, but just comparing maybe yourself to Tex. I mean, let's not talk about gameplay because that's a very wide comparison to try and compare. But if we're talking about, coming from nothing out of nowhere, I mean, myself as a content creator, I always find that I had that one day where I turned my stream on one day and all of a sudden I've gone from averaging 10, 20 viewers to averaging hundreds of viewers. And now I'm like, okay, what's happened there? Was that very similar to you in terms of your FIFA streams where you've just kind of blown up out of nowhere, or is it more a long, grueling task of you streaming every day to try and make yourself, a pillar in the community?
I'm not gonna lie, I feel like it was a grind for me. People, I mean, I don't want to say it's rare, but it is kind of rare that a female plays FIFA. So people would just come in, see that I'm a female, and then go away. But then it's grinding it and getting better. People like the journey and try to stick around for me, and and within a year I got partnered on Twitch. So yeah, it was definitely a grind for me. and then now it's literally been a roller coaster. So I'm super grateful for everybody who even watches me play this game. I've loved it since I don't even remember how old I was, but playing football and playing FIFA as well just comes hand in hand sometimes, and that's kind of what happened with me. But yeah, most definitely it was a grind being a content creator to get where I am today. But it's such an amazing career. Honestly, it really is.
Yeah, well, thank you both for joining me for the FIFA side of things. I do believe we are going to throw it back to our host, Rambo, who is joined by Mo to talk through things on the NBA side of things. I think that's all the FIFA action we have got for you, but don't forget to continue to sign up on the website and then come back and compete and join myself, Shauna and Adam on Wednesday for the second round of qualifiers. So thank you both for joining me. I hope you guys have enjoyed your commentary debuts and my voice hasn't bored you too much this evening, but let's throw it back to Rambo. Rambo, take it away.
First of all, John, I want to say you've got a cracking voice, my friend. I've been sat here, headphone glued to my ears. It's turned into ASMR. I've just been sat here chilling. I've had a great time. Thank you so much, John, Shauna, and Adam. As you mentioned, we are going to be switching over to NBA 2K very, very soon. Just stick there for 1 second. Get into the chat because you could win yourself a PlayStation 5 via Yop. And I advise doing that, because if not, I'm going to make a call to Yop and say, give me that PS5. Mo Moonsey hopefully is going to be joining us any second now. It's 2K time with the man who taught me NBA. I am not kidding you. So I advise getting your eyes glued to the screen, your headphones glued to this man's voice, because if he can teach me, he can teach you. My bro, how you doing?
I'm great. Thank you very much, man. Thanks for having me on. How about yourself? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm very excited for this because we've spoken a couple of times, and like I say, you are the go-to guy for NBA. There's no reason. There's literally no coincidence you're called the Hoop Genius. How's it going? Looking at this next season coming up, because we spoke on the phone a while ago, and to be honest, bro, I'm just here for the NBA knowledge.
Man, I said it, a year ago, over a year ago now, when we were going into last season. I said it's going to be the best season ever. And it didn't disappoint. I'm sure you guys all saw the NBA Finals, all the playoffs, what happened with the bubble that they set up with the Lakers and LeBron James eventually winning things. And it was a drama-filled journey the whole way through. And looking forward to this season now, I'm even more excited than I was over a year ago for last season, because a few teams have, switched up what they're doing. A few players have been moved. There's been trades. There's been free agency drama. And with the NBA, it's never short drama. So I'm super excited to see what goes down. Preseason started last night. There's more games on, and then the season gets underway on the 22nd of December, or technically the 23rd if you're watching from the UK, because it'll be at midnight on the 23rd. But I can't wait. It's going to be absolutely amazing this year.
The hype and the excitement is real. I'm gonna say this right now live, so you can use this against me at some point. I intend on watching 90% of this season. I promise.
I'm gonna hold you to that. I'm gonna hold you to that, Rambo. Listen, I'm gonna be checking in every day, making sure you ain't slacking then, because I'm gonna be watching 100% of it. So I'm gonna be quizzing you. I'm gonna be giving you a ring, Rambo. I'm gonna say who's the leading scorer right now. You're gonna have your knowledge up.
Bro, I just keep Wikipedia on quick dial. I believe we've got the game ready. I'm sure we're going to chat a lot more. So it's over to you, because you are Mr. NBA. It's 2K time.
Thank you, sir. Let's get into it. So I believe we have two players today. We've got Overhand and we've got Kyler Stern 95. And they're both going with the Golden State Warriors. And I can't say I blame them, because the Splash Brothers, Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson in the backcourt, they're always dangerous. They're always a threat. And then, of course, you've got Andrew Wiggins at the 3, Draymond Green, one of the most versatile players, at the 4. And then James Wiseman at the 5, the young rookie who was recently drafted in this year's NBA draft. So expect to see a lot of three-point shooting in this matchup, because both teams are the same team, but both squads are as talented as each other. It's going to come down to who is better with the shot stick, who can get those green releases, who can get a cookie from downtown, because once you get the ball going in the hoop from behind the arc, that opens up the court for the rest of your teammates to get involved. So we're going right now. We're going straight into the action. We're going to go straight with the tip-off. It's James Wiseman versus James Wiseman, and James Wiseman wins the tip, as you may have expected. We're just going to pause here for a second while there's some tactical changes being made. It's an interesting one. There's not too much to separate the sides, because I said as they are the same teams. But, it's really going to be a true test of skill, because it's a completely level playing field now. So we're going to see who really is the 2K king of the UK. And then don't forget to come back on Wednesday when we've got another stream and we're going to have more 2K action coming live and direct for you at the Yop Esports Championships. So I want to know from you guys, if you're watching right now, get involved in the chat. Have you been playing 2K21? Let me know, get in the comments, tell me how you're finding it, tell me what you like, tell me if there's anything that you'd change, tell me which teams that you're running with. Personally, I like to run with the Boston Celtics. I'm a Boston Celtics fan myself, but Golden State Warriors, as we're seeing here, going underway, never a bad shout. We've got Stephen Curry, look at that. The defenders are so worried about him popping off that three. It's easy for him to give that little shimmy and try to do. So right now, the first points are on the board. And it's going to be, I think this has got to be a close game. You know, it's got to be a real close game. We're seeing, look, the gravity of Steph Curry there, purely dragging all the defenders towards him. So James Wiseman can cut to the bucket for the easy dunk. There's nothing better than seeing Steph Curry back in action. And he actually missed the vast majority of last season with a broken hand. He's going to be back on the court this season. And I know every NBA fan, whether you're a Golden State Warriors fan or whether you're just a fan of the NBA or you just love basketball, as Steph Curry scores again, you can't help but be excited to see this man on the court. You know, he's right up there with the greatest players of all time. He's not just one of the best players right now. Yeah, I said it. He's one of the greatest players to ever touch the NBA basketball court. And you're seeing exactly why that shot doesn't hit. But it's just a case of getting warmed up, finding your range. As Klay Thompson takes it to the rack, he is fouled and he'll head to the line to shoot free throws. Now with 2K, it's a very fast-paced game. It's a very high-scoring game. It's constant end-to-end action. This is why I love the sport of basketball, because, you know, any game of basketball, you're guaranteed 20, 30, 40, 50 highlight plays. You know, certain other games, you might not get too many highlights. It might be a little 1-0. So personally, I like the fast-paced NBA action. But the players are going to have to be a little bit more disciplined than that as Klay Thompson goes out of bounds. And the teams go back and forth. I need to figure out which player's in the lead right now, because the scoreboard says Golden State and Golden State. I believe, as there's a foul there, as Steph Curry runs through the James Wiseman screen, I believe it's Kyler Stern in the lead right now. No, it's Overhand in the lead right now. Kyler Stern currently has the ball. He's trying to run that pick and roll. He rejects the screen. He's using that handle with Steph. It's all about throwing the defender off balance using the slick handles. As we have Steph Curry attacking the hoop, he lays it in off the glass and he gets another bucket. And like I said there, what a big dunk. Andrew Wiggins coming down the lane, cleared the lane. He's going to take off and he's going to throw it down and get fouled as well. If you're new to the sport of basketball, if you get fouled whilst in the process of shooting, you get 2 free throws. But if you make the bucket, you get 1 free throws. We call that an and one. And that's what you saw from Andrew Wiggins just there. Now, there's a lot to be expected from the Golden State Warriors in this upcoming NBA season. There's a mixed bag of opinions in what I'm seeing is, you know, there's some people that think they're going to do fantastically. Klay Thompson, who you're seeing on the court today, isn't actually going to be playing in the real 2K season, as he unfortunately suffered another injury that's going to keep him out for the 2nd straight year, which is a huge loss. Klay Thompson is, you know, I said Steph Curry was one of the greatest players of all time. Klay Thompson is one of the greatest three-point shooters of all time. His shooting form is absolutely amazing. And the best thing about Klay Thompson for me is he doesn't need a lot of dribbles to score points. We saw him just throw down a dunk there using his handles. But the best thing about Klay is I've seen him light teams up without even dribbling the ball. He knows where to find his spots. He knows how to get open. And his teammates, most importantly, know how to find him and keep feeding the hot hand as the three-point attempt misses. And there's a transition play on the marks, and Klay Thompson lays it in now. It's going to be a very tough game. There's really not much to separate. It's going to be a, you can do this, I can do that, because there's nothing between these two teams. There's no distinct advantage. One of the biggest things in the world of the NBA when it comes to who's going to win a game is the difference in matchups. So, you know, a lot of teams, some of them will have a great big man who dominates inside the paint. Some of them have great shooters, like the Golden State Warriors, who can get it cooking from downtown. But both players are trying to find their rhythm here as Draymond Green goes down the lane to dunk the ball. Both players are trying to find their rhythm here, and it's going to be really important who can build up a lead towards the end of quarters, because I feel that really sets the tone when you go into that end of quarter break. Whether you're down, whether you're up, it really affects how you're looking and approaching the following quarter. So if you're down after the first period of play, you might be playing a little bit more aggressively on defense coming out into the second. Whereas if you're up, you might be a little bit more relaxed, as we're seeing Klay Thompson hand the ball off and receive it straight back. He's called for the screen. Draymond Green sets the pick. Klay to the rack. He throws it down. A very well executed pick and roll. Not much need for the roll man there because Steph Curry went flying under the screen. There's 7 seconds left in this first quarter of play. It's a 1-point game. Steph Curry finger roll with the left. He goes up off the glass to extend the lead to 3. There's 3 seconds on the board. Can we see if they can tie it up? And on the buzzer, right at the buzzer, his foot was on the line, so that's only going to count for 2. But after 1 period of play, the score is 17-16. Kyler is currently in the lead, but like I said, this is going to be action-packed. This is going to be end-to-end, and I feel like if that first quarter is anything to go by, it's going to go down right to the wire. So, stick around for the fourth quarter because it's going to be fun, and I believe we're having a best of 3 series between these 2 competitors who are currently both playing as the Golden State Warriors. Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson have done the bulk of the scoring so far. There's that green release we talked about earlier. If you can consistently hit those green releases, then you're absolutely set in this game because that really gives your player a boost when it comes to shooting. And if you green it, it's very, very, very unlikely that they miss. There's the defender jumping to try and block Draymond, who takes it off the dribble. He throws down another dunk. You're seeing the way that the three-point shooting is really opening up the inside lanes as the defenders are so worried about getting out to shooters that the court has really opened up, and you can see Klay Thompson attacking on the inside as the lead changes hands, and there's going to be a timeout called. As in basketball is a game of runs. You're going to hear this expression a lot as you become a basketball fan. And what it means to say basketball being a game of runs is, one team might score 10 straight, and then they might lose the momentum, and it's about how the other team responds and the run that they go off on their own. And, various things can really impact this. It could be a huge dunk, or it could be a huge block that really shifts the momentum in the game. And the use of timeouts is so crucial because what you're really trying to do with the timeout is disrupt the other team's flow. As you can see, Overhand's team went into the lead for the first time this game, and immediately Kyler called a timeout to say, look, you're building up a little bit of momentum to start this second quarter. We need to just nip that in the bud. We need to get back to it. We need to get back onto our game. So we're going to see this timeout come to an end right now. We're going to head back to the court for some more action. Kelly Oubre Jr. now on the court as well. He was a big acquisition for the Golden State Warriors after leaving the Phoenix Suns from way downtown. Wow. He shot that one from the parking lot, from way downtown, just showing you the range that is on display with this Golden State Warriors. And they're trying to respond. Steph Curry can't hit that one with the response, but there's a big rebound that's being pulled down. And they're going to reset the offense. Steph Curry at the top, guarded by Klay Thompson, his fellow Splash brother. Steph goes again. Steph knocks that one down. I wasn't kidding when I told you guys we're going to see some excellent shooting on display because these 2 players are absolutely lights out from behind the arc. They're trying to trap Steph Curry at the top. He gets the ball out of his hands. He gets it immediately back. He's trying to move, and Draymond Green comes up to set another screen. He slips to the bucket. He's wide open underneath. He gets the pass, and he throws it down. It's back and forth we go. Who do you guys think is going to take the W? Let us know in the chat right now who you think is going to take the win as Klay Thompson muscles inside for the bucket. It's all about creating mismatches this game, because if you've got Stephen Curry, you want to create a mismatch. You want to get a slower player guarding him, because that way, as you can see right now, what's happening is he's using those shifty handles to bait the opponent into jumping on shot fakes, and then he gets that little bit of space to get the shot off. That one unfortunately misses. But then when you've got bigger players with the ball, you want to get smaller defenders shot onto them so they can really use their physicality and their size as a mismatch. As they come down the court in transition, Andrew Wiggins tries to control it, and beautiful hop step into the paint. Feeds the ball back out to Steph. He gives it up to Kelly Oubre with the mid-range jumper that knocks down. And we go back and forth. There's literally nothing in between these 2 sides. It's going to come down to who can keep their composure, who can execute down the stretch in the clutch. As Steph Curry pulls up for another bucket, he drains yet another bucket. Both sides are now cooking with gas. It's really impossible to tell these 2 sides apart right now, as what we're going to see is how crucial the rotations are, because the players can't play for the entire game. You're going to have to balance your substitutions. You're going to have to see, when one team benches Steph Curry, what does the other team go to? Do you try and match those substitutions with your opponent? Do you try and match the lineups exactly so you've got Steph matched up with Steph? Or do you try and exploit it? So when your opponent puts Steph Curry on the bench, you keep your version of Steph Curry on the court to cook up a little bit more, put some more points on the board, but then that leaves you open to the inverse happening to you. So it really is like a game of chess as we see more excellence from Stephen Curry. I feel like this is turning into the Stephen Curry show, but that one doesn't go. The rebound is pulled down. Andrew Wiggins comes away in transition using that speed, gets into the lane, feeds it back out to Steph Curry once more. Someone needs to count the amount of times I say Steph Curry on the stream, because Steph Curry with a beautiful handle gets into the lane, dives off the ball to Draymond Green, who is fouled, and he will go to the free throw line to shoot two. Draymond Green, an absolutely key piece of this Golden State Warriors squad. He's an undersized four-man, but his basketball IQ is really on a whole nother level. I think right now in the NBA, aside from LeBron James and Rajon Rondo, I think Draymond Green has the highest basketball IQ. He's up there with the likes of Chris Paul. Just the way he sees the game, the way that he can read plays happily, the way that he can communicate with his teammates. That doesn't always translate onto a video game, but the intangibles that he brings in real life are absolutely undisputable. You know, he has a fair share of critics, but I don't think that they're rightly criticizing him, because what he brings to a team, he's a winning player. He's one of those guys, you hate him if he's not on your team, but if he's on your side as he finishes the lob play off the glass, if he's on your side, you absolutely love to have him. And the other thing about Draymond Green is he will give his all. He gives 100% when he's out on the basketball court. He doesn't take a possession off. He works harder than almost anybody else possibly could. And there's 28 seconds. This second quarter has flown by. There's just under 30 seconds to go. There's a 4-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. There's still just 1 point between them as Steph Curry lays it in. It's going neck and neck. Let's see who has the advantage. It's all about clock management in these situations. You want to hold for the final shot. That's not what's happened. Steph Curry's missed a three. And now on the blue team, we're going to just have to call it the blue team and the white team, because I can't keep saying Steph Curry and Golden State. Steph Curry's in the corner. He's on fire. You want to get the ball into his hands. There's only 3 seconds left. I don't know if that's happening as Andrew Wiggins bullies his way into the paint once more. And there's a lob pass all the way up the court. Can he get the shot off in time? Steph Curry gets it up, but he doesn't get it to go down. And at halftime, it is a very, very close game. We're going to get straight into the third quarter of action with Kyler up by 3 points at the end of the third. Let's see if he can extend his lead, or is the game going to remain close as we head into the fourth quarter. There's an interception in the passing lanes from Andrew Wiggins. He gets it out to Klay Thompson. The Stars are playing a lot of minutes. We've not seen either of these two guys go very deep into their benches. So, you know, it's going to be a very interesting fourth quarter, because a jump shooter like Klay Thompson and Stephen Curry, as Klay knocks that one down, being a great jump shooter when it comes to basketball in real life, you have to have your legs under you. That's why we see the greatest shooters of all time. I'm talking about the likes of Ray Allen, the likes of Reggie Miller, as Steph Curry gets the layup to go. You look at the efficiency as well, by the way, by these guys. 10 of 11 from the field, 8 of 9 from the field from Steph. Absolutely lights out. But, you know, as I was saying, the greatest shooters of all time, the key is conditioning, the key is endurance, because the great jump shot, the foundation of any jump shot comes from your legs. And if you don't have your legs underneath you for a shot, if you get to the fourth quarter and you're tired and you can't jump as high as you usually would, then your shot's not going to go in. So we need to see if that translates to these guys, because they've not had much rest. They've not been to the bench much. They've been playing all-out basketball. Steph Curry pulls up once more, and he knocks it down as the lead is cut down to just 1 point here in the third quarter. Overhand really trying to find his way back into the game. He's had a lead for about 30 seconds of it, but it's really been Kyler pulling away, but not by much. He's only been up by 1 point, and he finds Klay Thompson on the wing. He pulls up. He cashes in. This is turning into a three-point shootout. This is really just turning into who can hit the most threes, as the lead is back in the hands of Overhand. And Kyler's got Steph Curry on the ball. He takes it into the paint. He can't get the layup to go. Some great defense being played right there. He gets the ball back out. Thinks about the shot with Andrew Wiggins. Gets to the lane. Wow! Look at the dunk. He throws that down. What was that? A reverse double pump? Man, I ain't got the adjectives for that. I ain't got the adjectives for that, because that was a dunk contest dunk happening in the game. And that is the beauty of NBA 2K, because I could never dunk like that in real life, but I can dunk like that on 2K as Kelly Oubre Jr. throws it down. The scores are neck and neck. They're tied at 44 apiece. It's a very fast-paced style of game right now. Kelly Oubre He commits the shooting foul. Draymond Green heads back to the free throw line where he'll try and knock these both down. And he gets the first one to go. Look at the graphics right now on NBA 2K. The graphics right now are absolutely out of this world. Draymond Green can't hit the second one. And graphics on the next-gen console are absolutely amazing as well. So if you haven't entered the Yop competition to win a PlayStation 5, I strongly advise you to do so. Because ever since I've played 2K on next-gen, I have not been able to put the game down. It is the most realistic basketball game I've played in my life as Steph Curry hits another three. And, you know, it's just the way that the players move. You just have so much more control. The handles, everything to do with the game and each game mode has just become hyper-realistic. I play a lot of My NBA, which used to be called My League or My GM, where you really take the role of a general manager in a franchise. It's the equivalent of a manager mode on FIFA, where you can control the franchise, which players you trade, which players you sign, which players you let go, who you draft, etc. And they've completely revamped for this year with a whole host of new features. And then, of course, there are the other game modes. There's quick play that you're seeing right now, where you can just simply pick a team and play now and go up against it with the best in the business. There's also My Player, My Career mode, where you can build your own. You can scan your own face into the game. And I'll tell you what, the face scans for NBA 2K21 are extremely realistic. They are extremely realistic. So get the NBA mobile app, scan your face in, sync it to the game. It takes 30 seconds. Your face is in the game. You can build your career. You can put yourself as tall as you want, as heavy as you want, as skilled as you want. And Steph Curry with a beautiful dime to Andrew Wiggins, who takes it to the rack with the left-handed slam. And get your career going. You can play your journey all the way through high school, college, or the G League, then head to the NBA and try and level up your player, grind for badges. And then with your player, you're not confined to just the NBA season. You can go to what is known as the city, previously called the neighborhood, where you can play with your friends and play against other people in 3-on-3 matches, 5-on-5 matches, 1-on-1 matches. And of course, your player can be dripped out in the latest collections of clothing. My player is obviously rocking the marathon clothing. Rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. But you can go to the stores in the city and use your VC coins that you earn from winning games to buy different clothing. They're all different brands, sneakers, all sorts on there. So you can really have your player looking exactly how you do in real life. As Steph Curry knocks down another one. It's a 1-point game with 4 seconds remaining in the half. Steph Curry catches. He's on fire. He pulls up. That's going to be tough if it goes. It bounces in, then it bounces out. And Overhand has the 1-point lead as we approach the fourth quarter. Who do you guys think is going to win? Let us know in the chat right about now. I need to see your predictions. Do you think it's going to be Kyler, or do you think it's going to be Overhand holding on to this 1-point lead that he's got as the fourth quarter of action gets underway? And also, who do you think is going to score more with Stephen Curry? Because we're seeing a lot of usage with him as he throws in another nice lob pass to his teammate Draymond Green, who finishes in the paint. And on the other end, another dime. Stephen Curry is really cooking. He is really cooking right about now. This is, if this is anything like what's going to happen when he comes to the court in real life, as he knocks down another three. I feel like DJ Khaled right now with another one. He's already got 30 points in 13 minutes, shooting 81% from the field for one of these guys. And Overhand knocks down another triple. He extends the lead out to 2 points, and he's got Stephen Curry up to 24 points on not quite as good efficiency, but he does have the lead, so we're not going to worry about that too much right about now. But if this is anything like what we're going to see from Steph when the regular season gets rolling around on the 22nd of December, then boy, I cannot wait, because I've missed watching Steph Curry ball. It has been a long year as that shot goes off the side of the backboard. Someone must have been watching Paul George highlights as they practice, but that is a missed shot, and the opponent comes away with the ball. Wiggins inbounds to Steph Curry, who brings the ball up. There's been a switch on the defensive end. They're trying to put Wiggins onto Steph, and Steph blows by Wiseman with a big block, but he is fouled. That's just a glimpse of the potential that James Wiseman is bringing to the Golden State Warriors. Between you and I've seen some footage from inside the Warriors training facility the other day. Steph Curry and Klay are really teaching James Wiseman how to shoot the three. So if he can keep extending his range as a player that's 7 foot tall and can block shots, and if he can shoot like a Splash Brother, it's going to be crazy. He's just coming to the league. He hasn't played a game yet. He was drafted a few weeks ago at the NBA draft with the number 2 pick. Anthony Edwards went number 1 to the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Melo Ball went to the Charlotte Hornets, and that's a huge dunk by Andrew Wiggins. Kyler takes a 2-point lead as we're going down the stretch here with 2 minutes 32 remaining. And there's a timeout called for Overhand as we go down into the fourth quarter, the closing stages of game 1 of this 3-game series of the Yop Esports Championships, brought to you by London United. Man, I really hope this game goes down to the buzzer, because there's nothing better. I don't think there's anything better in the entire world of sports than a buzzer-beating shot in the NBA. We've seen Steph Curry hit some throughout his career. We've seen Klay Thompson hit some throughout his career. Or will we have a surprise player? You know, Kelly Oubre's there been getting involved. Andrew Wiggins, who I wouldn't expect to hit a game-winning buzzer beater, but you never know what could happen in 2K. Steph Curry lets one fly from downtown. That one can't go. The rebound's pulled down again. Andrew Wiggins comes away in transition. He squares up with Stephen Curry guarding him. He blows by to the rack. He gets it to go with the tough finish with his left hand at the hoop. That's a 4-point lead. All of his buckets tonight have come inside of the paint. Steph Curry's got a teammate open in the corner. Kelly Oubre lets one fly with that left-handed release. That can't go. The ball's coming down the court. Again, Andrew Wiggins is fantastic attacking in transition. He gets another layup to go. We're starting to see a lead being built up. It's now or never right now. But Andrew Wiggins has just got the takeover meter going. He throws down yet another dunk. And that's all 5 players for Kyler's team that are currently on the takeover meter, which means all of their attributes have received a skill boost. Overhand throws up a 3. He knocks down a 3 as he cuts the lead down to 5. But with 1 minute 40 remaining, he's going to need to get a stop on the defensive end right now, as Stephen Curry is wide open on fire for another splash. You're seeing why he's called the Splash Brother alongside Klay Thompson. He's being trapped hard up the court now by Overhand's team, and you want to take time on this possession. You want to take time going into this final minute and a half. You want to run the clock down. There's no rush here. You're up. You're up. There's no need to worry. Steph Curry throws a 3 up in the air, and the 3-pointer comes crashing down with another bucket as they go down to the final minute and 14 seconds. Steph showcasing that handle. He goes behind the back. He pulls up. He catches in again. Once Steph catches fire, he's not missing. I'm telling you this. I'm telling you this. Overhand, though, right now needs to step up his game because it's going down the stretch. He gets a 3 to go with Steph. It's a 6-point game with a minute remaining. He needs to get a stop here because I feel like if Kyler can hit another 3 here, that's really going to be the dagger. Steph Curry was open for a set. Great recovery from Overhand. He's playing the pressure on the defense. He's applying some serious pressure right now. Steph Curry breaks free. He feeds the ball inside to Draymond Green. Pump fake. He gets the ball back out to Steph, and he calls a timeout. That was a great use of a timeout because this is a crucial possession in the game. It's a crucial possession because it's now or never. If you make this, that seals the win. If you miss this, it's a 6-point game. Now, a 6-point game would usually be quite a lot with 44 seconds to go. But with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson on the court, a 6-point game means absolutely nothing. Andrew Wiggins blows by Andrew Wiggins to throw down another dunk. And is that going to be the ceiling bucket of this one? Steph Curry brings the ball down the court. He can't pull up on the 3-point line. That you know he's looking to it. Steph gets it to Klay in the corner. That's automatic for Klay. They've got to go with a full court press here. They're playing the full court press right now. It's a 5-point game. They need to come up with a steal. They foul. Steph Curry goes to the free throw line where he is. Oh no, they had a foul to give. He won't go to the free throw line yet now, but if they foul him again, he will do. As you can see, the ball is being moved, stopping the other team from fouling him. It goes to the hands of Kelly Oubre, who's going to shoot at the line to try and seal this one out. He gets the first to go. 27.7 seconds left on the clock. I feel like the game is in the books. We're going to have to move on to game 2 to see if the series can be evened up. But this one was neck and neck all the way up until about the final 1 minute 40 seconds. And then Kyler just said, nah, I'm not ramping. I've come here to win. And he just went on an outrageous run of buckets. He had all 5 players with their takeover meter. He had all 5 players on fire as he dribbles this one out. And he is going to take game number 1 of the Yop Esports Championship. And there we have, oh, there's another foul from Draymond Green. You've got to love the competitiveness. Saying, nah, you can't just hold the ball and dribble out the clock. But look at that, a 38-point performance. And if he knocks these 2 down, it's going to be a 40-point performance for Stephen Curry. And considering his team put up 80 points, make that 81 points, and 40 of them have come from Stephen Curry. You can see why he was the league's first unanimous MVP, back-to-back MVP winner. Just an all-round superstar. You're literally watching one of the greatest shooters of all time to ever do it. Look at the stats we have up on the screen. For the other team, he had 32 points, 7 assists. But what a performance from both sides. Both athletes fought hard, both competitors fought until the very end. It went down the stretch. And I believe my brother Rambo is going to be joining me as we wrap up the action from game one. Rambo, what a thrilling game. What do you make of that first one there?
I was tight, man. I was tight. It felt like I was watching the actual NBA. The quality was good, you know. The quality, obviously, I've played a bit of 2K, and I'm not great. So I'm assuming, like, you're going to agree the quality is good, right?
Yeah, fantastic. You saw the shots on display there. You saw how many three-pointers were getting knocked down. The shooting is a lot harder now in 2K21 than previous years. So, you know, when you're watching players that can shoot the ball like that and score 40 points with Stephen Curry, you know you're looking at some real talent.
Yeah. I mean, I was watching it and I was just thinking, first of all, Moda's very good at commentating. Very good job at commentating, should I say.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You explain the game. That's the key detail. Who are you backing in the next one? Do you feel like... Because it was really tight. So I think it just swung on a couple of points.
It was very, very tight. Like I said during the commentary, it's a game of runs, and there's certain plays that can just shift the momentum at any given moment. And we saw the game was literally neck and neck. There was only about 1 point between them up until the final minute, last 2 minutes of the game. Kyler went on the run, and I feel like for the next game, Overhand is really going to be locked in because, you know, you can't lose the series. You can't get swept away in two. You've got to even it up right now. No one wants to go out 2-0. Losing 2-1, it's never good to lose in my book. But if you're going to go down, you've got to go down swinging. You can't just get swept out of the way. It's going to be interesting. I think it may go down to if they pick different teams, which teams they roll with, because both of them, both playing as Golden State, it's almost impossible to separate the difference. That's why it was such an even game and it went down to just a couple of possessions. But I'm hoping they pick different sides. So we have a little bit of a variety in the matchups.
Yeah, man. Pressure on the gaffer of the losing side because he needs to do something because 2-0, like you said, ain't the one. You don't want to lose, and you don't want to lose badly. Time for a quick ad break so you can get yourself a drink because you've got another 20 minutes or so of commentating. Let's roll that ad.
Yop, a snack you can drink. Supporting you to make a positive change. Yop, no limits.
All right, welcome back. While Mo grabs a very fresh drink, and the reason I say fresh is because I heard him gulp it on the mic. It was playing out in my ears. There's a lot of slurping going on, which tells you that 20 minutes was a hell of a commentary little spell that he's done there by himself. Before we get back to Mo and back to the next NBA game, we're going to roll to another VT. Staffordshire Uni were involved with the video editing workshop, which was supported by Blast, ESI, and 1080 Media as well. Let's roll that VT.
Hey, this is Marshall from Staffordshire University, London, and we're super excited and happy to be part of this event, but I'm actually here to tell you about a different event that we have this coming Tuesday. It's a panel conversation hosted by us about diversity and inclusion within gaming. And on this panel is going to be an esports team owner, a former professional player, a games designer, and someone who's actually created his own manga brand. So if you love games and you love video games, this is the event for you. And we'd love if you would come join us this coming Tuesday, December 15th at twitch.tv/StaffsUniLondon at 5 p.m. Bye.
Right, of course, you guys did not hear what happened on that ad break, but while I was talking about Mo slurping his drink, I randomly had a bit of a coughing fit. Mo, you still there?
Indeed.
What are you sipping on this this Saturday evening?
You know, there's only one answer. It's that Yop. It's that Yop goodness. That's what you got to be drinking for these streams. Come on.
My guy. All right, time for game 2. It's back over to you, my brother. Time to just back. If I'm the viewer, sit back and enjoy the voice because it is very, 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 very decent.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Rambo. We have had a change in the teams. Kyler is now going with the defending champion, LA Lakers. And Overhand, who lost that first game, is going back with the Golden State Warriors to try and redeem himself. You know, he put up a great performance up until the very last minute. So he's going to try and run it back. The Lakers, the defending champions, have got a new look for this season. They've made some moves in the offseason, and it's a case of the rich getting richer. You know, they've just come fresh off a championship. So what did they go and do? They went and upgraded their roster all around. Rajon Rondo, who was huge for them in the playoffs, but wasn't the best during the regular season, has been replaced by Dennis Schroeder, who's coming off the greatest season of his entire NBA career last year for the OKC Thunder. I thought he should have been 6th man of the year. He put up a fantastic season coming off the bench for them. And then they also went out and acquired the actual winner of 6th man of the year, who's about to tip off against James Wiseman, who loses the tip. But that's Montrezl Harrell, who we saw in action last night posting a double-double against the Clippers in the preseason matchup at the Staples Center. So they've got stronger there. They've also added guys like Wesley Matthews. They have had some departures like Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee. So it's going to be interesting to see how this new Laker team meshes during this season. However, we are going to see how they fare on NBA 2K. Because that's what it's all about today. And speaking of NBA 2K, for everyone who's locked into this stream right about now, while the teams are currently making some tactical changes, I'm going to tell you guys how you can win a copy of NBA 2K21 on your favorite console. It's very, very simple. There's only 2 things you need to do. Number 1, you need to follow London United on Twitter. That's LDN UTD. Give them a follow on Twitter. And second of all, tweet them saying which console you want the copy of the game to be on. That's all we need to do. That's all you need to do. Follow and tweet. It's never been so easy to win a copy of NBA 2K21. Make sure you go and get your entries in right now as the game gets underway with some fantastic defense from the Lakers, blocking the layup attempt of Stephen Curry. And this is going to be a tricky situation for Overhand now because he did play as the Warriors before and put up a great performance, but that was against the Golden State Warriors, whereas now with the LA Lakers, you're playing against a team who has Anthony Davis playing at the 4. Montrezl Harrell, who throws down a huge dunk, is playing at the 5. So that's 2 very, very big players packing the paint there, contesting shots, blocking shots. Anthony Davis, who was a shout for Defensive Player of the Year last year. He was second behind the great Giannis Antetokounmpo. He fires an outlet pass down the court to Dennis Schroeder, who makes a fantastic read of the play. Gives it up to his teammate Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, who lays the ball in. And the Lakers are out to a 4-0 start. And they got on the board. It's going to be an interesting matchup because these are 2 very different styles of play. The Warriors, guard focus, guard heavy as Klay Thompson gets the and 1 to go. The hoop and the harm. He makes the layup and he will head to the free throw line to shoot a free throw. We call that an and 1 because you get the bucket, then you're adding 1 on top. That's the and 1 right there. That's a 3-point play. And the Lakers come back the other way. LeBron James with the ball in his hands, the reigning finals MVP. King James, as he calls himself, and King James, as you should be calling him, an all-time great, as he throws down the reverse jam. We need to really make sure this season, you know, I know everyone loves to debate their favorite players, and everyone loves to go back and forth, but we need to take a season and just make sure you sit back and appreciate the greatness of LeBron James because he's going into his 18th season in the NBA. That's almost unheard of for a player to still be playing at the level that he's playing as Klay Thompson feeds it into James Wiseman for the layup. It's unheard of for a player to be playing at this high level of play in the 18th year. I don't think we've seen anyone this durable since probably, wow, LeBron with another throwdown, since the great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who also played for the Lakers. You know, we saw Vince Carter have a great 20-year stretch in the league, but he was a role player. You know, after he fell off from his prime, he was really a role player. There's a defensive 3 seconds violation there by the Lakers. So the Golden State Warriors are going to shoot free throws. If you're wondering what the violation there is for, the painted area, what is on the court, the yellow box, you cannot stand in there for longer than 3 seconds, whether you're on offense or defense. And if you are on defense, you stand in there for longer than 3 seconds, then the opponent will get a free throw, and they'll be able to inbound the ball and have another possession, which unfortunately Overhand just wasted there with more great defense from the Lakers coming away with the ball. A beautiful pump fake and a beautiful throwdown from KCP. The Warriors call timeout as they're down 4 with 1:35 remaining. And if you're on offense and you get called for the 3-second violation, the ball simply turns over and it goes to the other team, who then get their chance to go away on offense. And while we're in a timeout, let me quickly remind you, if you want to win a copy, before that, look at the screen right now. Who do you think is the GOAT? Michael Jordan, LeBron James? Get your vote submitted in right now with the beautiful overlays that we've provided. But if you do want to win your very own copy of NBA 2K21 as Steph Curry knocks down another 3, I feel like I've said that a million times this evening, and you're probably going to still keep hearing that throughout the rest of this game because that's what he does. But if you want to win a copy of NBA 2K21, LeBron James with another crazy dunk, you're going to have to follow LDN United, LDN UTD on Twitter, and tweet us, letting us know which console you want your copy of NBA 2K21 to be on, and we will send one out to you. So let us know right now. The information is in the chat on the side of the stream if you need to know more about that. So there's a beautiful corner 3. The Lakers are really pulling away with this one. We're going to need to see a change up in the style of play from the Golden State Warriors. I feel like they might need to start moving the ball a little bit more, because right now we've got 4 of the Laker players, everyone aside from LeBron James somehow, is currently on a takeover boost. And there's a foul from the Golden State Warriors. Dennis Schroeder is heading to the line to shoot free throws. The Golden State Warriors, I feel like in this matchup, Overhand needs to really move the ball and create some mismatches by forcing the Lakers to switch on defense, so then you can really exploit it. I would like to see them, putting Steph Curry in some isolation situations against guys like Trez, AD is a nightmare. You don't want him guarding you, but you really want to attack at guys like Kentavious Caldwell-Pope as well, who's not the greatest defender in the world. Dennis Schroeder's also not the greatest defender in the world. But he is a fantastic playmaker, and we're seeing him use that shifty handle, try and open up the offense. Really, Kyler is being patient, biding his time. He's got the lead. He's not in a rush. He's found Trez with a beautiful drop step spin. He's fouled. He goes flying to the floor, and he's going to head to the free throw line as Marquise Chris picks up the foul for the Golden State Warriors. Trez is going to go to the free throw line. It's interesting. Montrezl Harrell, he got caught. He just got fouled by Marquise Chris, who got called for a technical foul. A technical foul in the NBA is like an unsportsmanlike foul. And what happens is you get 2 free throws and your team gets the ball back after that. If you get 2 technical fouls called on you, you are then ejected from the game. So Marquise Chris is going to have to be very careful on defense just there. As I was saying with Montrezl Harrell, it's an interesting situation he finds himself in as the first quarter winds down with 3 seconds left on the clock. Steph Curry fires up the 3-pointer at the buzzer. That one doesn't go, and it's a 7-point lead for Kyler. Montrezl Harrell is interesting for him because he did play for the LA Clippers, who are the crosstown rivals of the LA Lakers. And over the summer, his contract expired with the Clippers, and he said, you know what? He could have got paid. I heard the Charlotte Hornets offered him a considerable figure. Considerable meaning around $18 million a season. He instead took a lot less to play for the LA Lakers. And, this is a surprise move because it's not very often a player moves rival teams just like that. LeBron James. How could you not want to play with LeBron, though? When you're playing with a player who can do things like that, so dominant when he's on the court, but also so great at opening up the ball for others. And Steph Curry with a beautiful dribble move is blocked by Anthony Davis, who's an elite rim protector in this league. And the Lakers come away with it. They're really building on their lead. They're up by 9 now. They're trying to extend this to double digits as Dennis Schroeder knocks down 3 from the corner spot. That's 23 points on the board. 23, ironically, being the number that LeBron James wore last season. And interestingly, this season, he's not going to be wearing number 23. He's giving number 23 to Anthony Davis, who wore 23 in New Orleans and wore 23 in college. And LeBron is going back to the number 6 that he wore when he played for the Miami Heat. They originally wanted to do this last season after Anthony Davis was traded. However, the jerseys had already been on sale And so it was unfair to the fans who had already bought a LeBron jersey with the number 23 on the back. As Dennis Schroeder with a huge block on Stephen Curry. He just knocked that one out of the air. Steph Curry pulls up in the mid-range and slightly redeemed himself. That was a fantastic defensive play. But yeah, so this season on the court, I believe we're going to see LeBron James flexing in the number 6, and AD is going to return to number 23 instead of just the number 3, and LeBron throws down another slam. This lead is getting out of hand as the Golden State Warriors call a timeout. Man, I can't lie to you. If I saw my opponent was picking the LA Lakers, do you know who I'd pick? Let me know in the chat right now. Who would you pick if you were playing up against the LA Lakers? Because in my eyes, there's only one man in the NBA right now that could go. Actually, there's two. There's two. I'll give you two. There's two players I feel like can go toe-to-toe with LeBron James. One of them being Kawhi Leonard, who plays for the LA Clippers. But after what we saw from them in the playoffs, I don't know if I trust them. The other being one Mr. Giannis Antetokounmpo, the back-to-back reigning MVP of this league and reigning Defensive Player of the Year. He is another superior athlete that can go up against LeBron as LeBron throws down another jam. Oh, my Lord. LeBron is just feasting out there. I need to see the numbers. I need to see how many points he's got already because he's putting on a show for you guys as Steph Curry, as Klay Thompson, Steph Curry's splash brother, gets the mid-range jumper to fall. But as you can see, the Golden State Warriors have no answer for LeBron James with a hop step inside. He can't get the bucket to fall, but he'll head to the free throw line to shoot 2. They don't have an answer for LeBron James. Last season averaged 25 points a game and 10 assists. LeBron's an interesting player because he is a small forward or a power forward, technically, but he really plays that point guard spot because he's so good at seeing the court. You might not be seeing it now in this game because he's getting to the rim and scoring a dunk every time down. But in real life, he has excellent vision of the court. He has an excellent basketball IQ, like we talked about Draymond Green earlier. He can see plays unfold before his eyes, before they even happen. He just reads the game so well. He gets his teammates involved. So that's why he averaged 10 assists, which is fantastic numbers for a point guard, let alone a man of LeBron's size and weight, because LeBron James really is a unit. I was at All-Star Weekend in Chicago earlier this year, and I was just minding my business. I was just standing, waiting to do an interview with the player as LeBron James scores another bucket. And it's pretty crowded in the hallway, and I just get bumped. I go flying, and you guys can't see me. I'm commentating. I'm a big don. I went flying. I turned around to see who had knocked into me, and it was LeBron James himself. So when I tell you this guy's strong, he sent a whole Mo Mootsie flying. Now, Mo Mootsie is no light fella, I can tell you that much. As the Golden State Warriors get a much-needed bucket on the board. The lead is currently at 14 for the Lakers. There's a minute 20 left in the first half, and you really need to get some stops on the defensive side of things. Wow, the ankles just got took. LeBron James, show him the handle, big boy. Show him the handle. He went with that in and out. The defender went tumbling to the floor. Ooh, it's looking like an and one mixtape, not an NBA game. Man, that was shifty. You don't often see LeBron flexing those handles like that, but he's got them in his locker. The lead's up to 17, and the Lakers have the ball with under a minute to play. LeBron James, more great handles. That one goes off the glass but misses. Rebounds pulled down by Andrew Wiggins. Gets the ball out to Stephen Curry in transition. He pulls up foot inside the line. He knocks that one down. It's only going to count for 2. Lead is down to 15. But we really need to see some defense being played because I need to remind you, Kyler is currently up 1-0 in the series, and he's currently up by 17 points in game 2. So it may be a 2-0 sweep of this 3-game series that we've got for you today with the Yop Esports Championships presented by London United. Steph Curry once again putting it up, but he misses. I feel like the game plan's been figured out. You're going to really need to shoot with some other players other than Steph's. Klay Thompson from the corner, that's an automatic bucket. Let's see you use Klay Thompson a little bit more. I do have a fear that this is exactly how it's going to pan out when these two teams face each other in real life. Because the physicality of the Lakers, the defense of the Lakers, the size of the Lakers is just too much for this Golden State Warriors who play with a lot of finesse to manage. And LeBron James is fouled. That's the second personal foul on Andrew Wiggins. They had a foul to give. It was a great decision because now Lakers have to inbound and reset the play. And he's looking for the lob. The backdoor lob pass can't be completed. KCP catches the ball in the paint with a pump fake. No 3 seconds call there. And he gets the lay-in to go. It's 41-25. 0.3 seconds left on the clock. Golden State Warriors fumbled the ball. And that has been a disappointing first half from Overhand as Kyler is running away with the lead. And we're going to get straight into the second half of the action here at the Yop Esports Championship. Do you guys think that Overhand can make a comeback? Do you think Steph Curry can shoot enough threes to get them back in the game? Or is LeBron James just going to keep doing what LeBron James does? He gets the pick from Anthony Davis. He doesn't use it. He's sizing up Kelly Oubre Jr. He's saying, I'm going to have this barbecue chicken for lunch. Anthony Davis sets the screen. LeBron James goes left. What's he going to do? He posts up with 2 defenders on him. He loses the ball. Dennis Schroeder picks it up. He can't get the layup to go. Offensive rebound by LeBron James. He's throwing up a few pump fakes, throw the defenders off balance, and Schroeder blows by Stephen Curry. As fantastic as Stephen Curry is on the offensive end, defensively, he does leave something to be desired. However, I did hear from Draymond Green the other day, as Steph knocks one down. Draymond Green was saying the other day that Stephen Curry has improved massively over the past year that he's not been playing on the defensive side of the ball. So we're going to see if he can come in and lock down anyone when the season gets underway on the 22nd of December. Montrezl Harrell sets the screen for LeBron James, who finds an open lane to the bucket. He cocks it back and he throws it down. Man. LeBron James, go easy on him. Go easy on him. Kyle is just flexing out here as Klay Thompson gets the 3 to go. But you're really just trading buckets. You're not going to come back into this game if you're going bucket for bucket. Games in basketball are won on the defensive side of things. The team that can stop the other team from scoring, I know it sounds rudimentarily simple, but if you can force the other team into turnovers, you get those easy transition buckets. We're seeing some settings being played around with here. We're seeing what's going on here. We're getting an inside look. We're seeing an inside look into the settings. What's going on here? Some substitutions are also going to be made. But defense is really where you're going to win this game. It's not going to be on the offensive side of things. Every team in the NBA has a player that's capable of scoring at an elite level. Minus maybe the New York Knicks, I don't know. But it's all about defense. This is what people don't understand. The Golden State Warriors, when they were on their run of being in the finals every year, as great as they were on offense, filling it up, they were an elite defensive unit. They had guys like Andre Iguodala. They had guys like Andrew Bogut, who are no longer with the squad. And I feel like they are being sorely missed right now because we remember those battles between LeBron James and Andre Iguodala as LeBron James hops into the lane, lays in another bucket off the glass. During those NBA finals, without an Andre Iguodala in your team, how are you slowing down LeBron James? And we're seeing that hole in the Warriors squad being exploited right about now. As Steph Curry throws up another shot and he makes another bucket. He's got 20 points right now, but I don't know if he's doing enough. They're down by 14. I'm yet to see some defense being played from the Warriors as LeBron James gets in. He gets into Trez in the corner, who thought about the shot. He posts up, he spins. Wiseman goes flying off the pump fake. He finds Schroeder in the corner. This is some beautiful basketball being played right now. Kyler is really putting on a masterclass when it comes to 2K. I may have to give him a game after this one and test out how good he really is, because I feel like this Lakers team is too OP, is too overpowered for the Golden State Warriors. LeBron to AD, we're used to seeing that by now, the lob pass going up and the ball going through the hoop. That's what the Lakers do. That's why they got both of those guys, 2 former #1 picks that caused the storm when they were drafted into the league. And Steph Curry gets another bucket to go. But you can't just outshoot the other team. Even if you're shooting threes or if you're shooting twos, whatever it is, the defense. I keep hammering on about that. My old coaches would be so proud of me if they're listening right now, because defense wins championships. That's the saying. Defense is where it goes. And we're not seeing any of that from the Warriors. Although Steph is on fire, he's got the takeover meter on. That one doesn't go. AD pulls down the rebound. He gets the ball out in transition. KCP hands it off to LeBron James. Gives a little fake pass. He's matched up with Stephen Curry. This is breakfast for LeBron. Oh, James Wiseman with the block. The rookie blocking the king. I did not expect that to happen. What a great defensive play. Finally, we're seeing some defense come down the other end, and Stephen Curry cuts into the lead. It's now at 16 points. We're going to need to see some more defense, but time's running out with 30 seconds left here in the third quarter of action. Kyler is up 1-0 in the series, and if things stay this way, he's going to win the series 2-0 with a 5-second difference between the game clock and shot clock, or a 6-second difference. Dennis Schroeder with a beautiful finger roll using that European style of play as he goes into the hoop. I'm expecting to see a good season from Dennis Schroeder. I feel like LeBron's going to coast through the regular season and save his energy for the playoffs, so that's leaving some minutes and some touches for Dennis Schroeder. Another 3 for the Golden State Warriors. And there's 7 seconds left. LeBron James has the ball in his hands. Can they get to 60 points by the end of the quarter? Of course they can. LeBron James is not putting on a fantastic performance. LeBron James is putting on a dunk contest worthy performance right here at the Yop Esports Championship presented by London United, because he's getting whatever he wants, and Steph Curry doesn't get a 3 to go at the buzzer. It's a 17-point lead for the Lakers as we go into the fourth quarter. We're going to have to see the Splash Brothers really heat up because, you know, they've got a lot of work to do in the fourth quarter of the action. I don't know how tired they're going to be, how tired LeBron James is going to be, because I don't think LeBron James ever gets tired. You know, maybe there was that one series against the San Antonio Spurs back in, was it 2013, 2014? But aside from that, LeBron don't get tired. The man is a machine. Steph Curry's up to 30 points, but look at the efficiency he's doing on. He's shooting 44% from the field. In the previous game, he shot almost 80%. LeBron with the Euro and the layup. Man, these are the two all-time greats doing battle right now on NBA 2K21. And if you haven't yet, follow LDN UTD London United on Twitter and tweet us telling us which console you play on to be in with the chance of winning a free copy of NBA 2K21. And also, don't forget to enter the competition with Yop to win a PlayStation 5, because NBA 2K21, if you think it's good on PS4, when it's on PS5, it's going to blow your mind. I can promise you that. It is the best game that I've played on the next-gen consoles. I don't think anything even comes close to touching it, because everything from the graphics, you look at the crowds, you look at the animations, you know, everything to do with it is just absolutely sublime. Dennis Schroeder almost stole the ball there, but it's back in the hands of the Golden State Warriors, who are trying to cut into this lead. Steph Curry, a contested mid-range shot. That's not how you want to get back into this. As the Lakers come away in transition, once again, this is a familiar sight. KCP is slowing down the ball, gets it back to Schroeder. And the thing about this is the Lakers actually have some very interesting pieces on their bench that we've not seen. We've just seen the starters really play the majority of this game. We've not seen them go into their bench. They've got some interesting pieces. They've got Marc Gasol over from the Toronto Raptors coming off their bench. They've got Wesley Matthews. They're stacked. They've got Markieff Morris, who was highly efficient in their run to the championship last year. They're absolutely stacked on their bench. I'd like to see some of that depth come into play here in the fourth quarter, considering this game is almost in the books, because if we're 1 3-pointer away from a 20-point lead, and with just over 2 minutes, as great as Steph Curry and Klay Thompson are, I think that may be a task even too insurmountable for those guys. Dennis Schroeder gets the left-handed layup to go off the glass, and the takeover badge comes alive. He's really heating up on this Saturday evening. Steve Kerr's going to have a lot of work cut out to do in this virtual timeout that he's having his players. Overhand is going to have a lot of work to do. He's down by 19 points. And, you know, this for me is about pride. You can't go out like this. You're down 1-0 in the series, and now you're down by 19. You got to make this one close. And I think he can hear me, because Steph Curry comes along and he knocks down another bucket. That's his 37th of the evening, and the Lakers automatically react with a timeout of their own, saying, all right, cool, you got one bucket there, but guess what? We're not here to play around. We're not even going to give you a glimmer of hope. We are going to take this and we're going to close this out. And how can I go a whole Lakers game without mentioning Alex Caruso, the icon, the man, the myth, the legend, the bold eagle, as they call him, one of the most iconic players in the NBA, who gets a lot of love from fans on social media through their use of memes, but is actually a very, very efficient and useful role player. As the Lakers bench has checked in, we're seeing Kyle Kuzma on the court, Quinn Cook, Markieff Morris, as we spoke about before. Quinn Cook goes into the lane and lays it in. We're seeing the Lakers empty their bench, and the Golden State Warriors are still running with their stars, trying to save some face as Steph Curry greenlights a shot to try and make this look a little bit more respectable as we get into the dying embers of the game. A minute 43 remains. Kyle Kuzma, who has been telling fans he's going to have a comeback year, loses the ball there. He gets it right back as his teammate recovers. He's been telling fans over the offseason, because there's a lot of jokes made about Kuz. He's been telling fans he's set for a big year and he's going to prove everyone wrong. And I, for one, can't wait to see it. If he can come out and prove everyone wrong, it would be fantastic. And if he can't, then the memes are still going to keep making me laugh. Because one of the best things about the NBA, I don't know about you guys, but the NBA, the memes that come out of the NBA are out of this world. You know, I think there's a lot of basketball players that the average person who knows nothing about basketball, they know the meme, they don't realize it comes out of the NBA. And there's a whole generation of kids that have not seen Michael Jordan play basketball, or they didn't until The Last Dance came along. They just knew him as the guy who cried in the memes. And I can't lie, if I was down by this much on 2K21, I might be looking like a crying Michael Jordan too, because you really want to put up a strong performance, especially with all of you guys watching right now. But right now, it's been a Lakers masterclass. It's been the LeBron James show. It's not even been the Anthony Davis and LeBron James. It's just been LeBron James out here flexing. Alex Caruso into the game now. the bold eagle that we talked about, the icon, who can actually throw down magnificent dunks with a beautiful layup that doesn't go in. The Golden State Warriors come away with it. Draymond Green's wide open under the hoop, but they can't find a pass for him. Steph Curry with the ball in his hands finds a little bit of space. He puts up another shot. He knocks it down again, but unfortunately, that is going to be too little, too late. As the clock winds down, the Lakers have their final possession of the afternoon. Alex Caruso is just going to dribble this one out. There's 5 seconds between the shot clock and the game clock. He goes into the lane. He can't get the and one. He'll head to the free throw line to shoot 2. And that is going to be it, folks. That's going to be 74, possibly 75 if he can make this one. 75 points on the board. Also, big up to 2K. They've given Alex Caruso a luscious head of hair. Reality, not quite the same, but it's all love for Alex anyway, because I love what he brings, the energy, the heart, and the hustle that he brings to this Lakers side. With a 15-point lead, they're going to close this one out. What a game it's been. Some of the dunks we've seen from LeBron, and that huge dunk from Alex Caruso just there, as I told you about. That's what he's known for, those big throwdowns. And that's the game in the books, a 17-point win for the Los Angeles Lakers. They are the defending champions in the real world, and now Kyler is the defending champion in the Yop Esports Championships because he's taken a 2-0 series lead. And I'm going to come back with my brother Rambo, where we're going to review the action from that last game.
What on earth happened there? First game, tight as hell. Second game, he's wiped the floor with him. What happened?
Mate, that was an absolute masterclass from LeBron James. Once he figured out that Golden State have no one on their roster that's strong enough or quick enough to keep up with the man that they call the king, man, it's just easy from there. It's just easy because you get the ball into LeBron's hands, then what are you doing? You're driving at the hoop and you're dunking, but you're not just dunking the ball, you're dunking with flair. You're dunking with that little bit of sauce. You know what I'm saying? It's not just the throwdown, it's the reverse throwdown, it's the windmill, it's the 360. And for me, it was fantastic to watch. It's a shame that Golden State couldn't put up a better fight. I feel like the offense became a little bit stale. It was basically, we're going to give the ball to Steph Curry, he's going to shoot, and that was really it. And I feel like once you can see your opponent doing that, it's easy to kind of manipulate them into turning the ball over or missing shots or taking difficult shots. And, you know, he ran away with it. Fair play to him. Kyler had a fantastic performance, and he put on a great display.
Well, you did advise the losing team to change teams, but actually the winning team wouldn't change teams and change something up and still won. You got to rate that. That's decent.
I mean, you know, it doesn't hurt when the team you change to is the reigning NBA champions and, you know, has one of the greatest players of all time on the team. I do feel like, you know, if you just lost as Golden State, I wouldn't play with Golden State again. I would have gone for Milwaukee. I would have gone for the Clippers, maybe the Heat, maybe the Celtics. There's so many great teams in the NBA right now. I feel like you're almost spoiled for choice. You're almost spoiled for choice because there's so much talent that's available at your disposal on NBA 2K21.
Well, listen, you live and you learn. The losing team, it's a lesson for all losing teams. If you have the option to change, my advice was always be changed. And even I know if you're losing with Golden State Warriors, it's time to change. It's time to go. Make that switch now. Final VT of the night comes from another Yop Esports Champs workshop, and I was actually involved in this one. It was public speaking with the brilliant Andy Meir. It was also supported by FaZe Clantas as well, and James Dean from ESL as well. So let's have his final VT, and this is a good one. Let's roll it.
Currently, it's probably the fastest growing creative industry in the world. It's already financially bigger than the film industry, and yet many people still don't understand what it involves.
It is huge. If you look at numbers in terms of like the NFL in America, League of Legends has actually got bigger numbers just because it's so accessible worldwide. Once League of Legends booked out Madison Square Garden, that's when you knew it was big. Same as Taylor Swift, same as all of the big rock stars.
So I think we have the partnerships, we have the students, we have the technology, and we have the environment. And all those things, I think, make it a really compelling proposition for people to come here and either figure out what esport is, but realise that esport isn't just about playing computer games. It's about recognising how the entire media industries are changing around this platform. That's the esports industry, and it's booming right now.
Like I said, Andy knows his stuff. I believe we've still got Mo with us. Hoping you're still there, Mo. Are you still there?
I am indeed. I'm here. I'm in the place, man. I couldn't leave you high and dry, bro. You know I'm here.
I was gonna say, left without a buy or a thanks or anything. I was like, it's like coming to someone's birthday and a gift. Don't do that.
My mama raised me better than that, bro. My mama raised me better than that.
Shut up, Mumsy. Slightly away from 2K, we're going to go a little bit of a throwback a little bit. Obviously, you watched the Jordan Netflix series, which was absolutely incredible. Obviously, you will have spoken to so many people about this over and over again. But I was going to ask you, it sort of like open, like even me included, actually, made almost like created a new field of NBA fans, no?
Completely. Like, Rambo, even if we talk about yourself and myself, you hit me up after The Last Dance had finished and when the playoffs were about to begin, and you were like, yo, I'm trying to get into NBA, etc., etc., etc. So even on like a personal level between the two of us, we can only imagine how many other people were thinking the same thing, you know, throughout the summer. And first of all, for me, I feel like Michael Jordan saved the first lockdown because I didn't know what to do with myself. There was no NBA on TV. You know, I was playing 2K all day long. But, you know, there's only so much. I can play 20 hours a day. There's only so much you can do. And then they said The Last Dance was coming out, and you really got an inside look. When we say he's the GOAT, when we say the greatest of all time, I think what was fantastic is you saw the level of dedication and like the obsessiveness that Michael Jordan had to be the best at what he does. And for me personally, I feel like that's something that we can really apply, or anyone can apply to whatever field they're in. You know, whether it's FIFA, whether it's Ultimate Team, whether it's, you know, whatever you're into, Call of Duty, 2K, or even if it's not gaming, even if it's artwork or music, that desire and hunger to be the greatest and to not let anyone else ever be better than you, I thought it was amazing to see. And so to give the inside look into the process of greatness and not only the highs, but the lows that come with it as well, was a real eye-opener for fans. And I feel like what makes the NBA so great is fans feel like they know the players. You get that kind of personal feeling of that relationship. And, you know, now fans are starting to understand why Michael Jordan is the GOAT.
Yeah, man. Like, I left that feeling as though you don't get to see that insight into any of the greatest athletes ever. You just don't. So when you get to see that with, I genuinely argue, probably top 5 athletes of all time across sports for me, and that's going from a person who likes basketball but doesn't love it. That like insider look and feel, and then, you know, me and you, we even we could relate to that. Like, I was like, he's got that obsession, he's got that desire. He made people around him better. People wanted to get to his level. If you didn't get to his level, he was telling you to do one, basically.
Yep. If for lack of a better word, you know, Michael Jordan wasn't so polite, but I love the way he phrased that. The thing is this, the thing is this with Michael Jordan is like, The Last Dance, if you watched it and you knew nothing about Michael Jordan or anything else, you could almost think that that was a story that was written by a camera crew and then they've got people to act out the movie. But that's really his career. Like, it was just a run of dominance for, I'm winning 3 championships in a row. All right, cool. I'm going to go play baseball for a bit. You lot can have fun. Then I'm going to be back in 2 years' time and I'm going to win 3 more in a row. Then I'm going to go retire again for a little while. Like, I don't think there's anyone that can, you know, we see great athletes in all sports, maybe like a Serena Williams, or I don't really know about golf or whatever, but Tiger Woods maybe could go and do that in their field. But, you know, we don't really see that with anyone else, even with LeBron James, as great as he is. And I think he's the best player on the planet right now. LeBron James couldn't take 2 years off and come back and win 3 championships in a row because LeBron James has never even won 3 championships in a row. So that Bulls team is a different level of dominance and a different level of greatness. And I'll tell you this much, without Michael Jordan being as great as he was, the NBA wouldn't be what it is today, because we were looking at an era where Magic Johnson was retiring and Larry Bird was retiring, and there was no real face of the league. And, you know, it did have somewhat of a bad reputation with the Detroit Pistons, you saw in the documentary, playing a very rough style, and the New York Knicks. But then Michael Jordan came along with his airness, you know, flying through the air, playing with flair, playing with skill and creativity. And then, you know, he took his talents to the 92 Olympics and really showed the entire world just how great the NBA is. And that catapulted the league into the international presence it has today. And right now, you know, we're in the UK playing NBA 2K21. And it's just been amazing to see.
Yeah, like who would have thought that? It's one of the most growing sports in the UK as well. And obviously, bro, I could chat to you all day, every day. We should do a 24-hour stream of just me and you chatting sometime. But for now, I'm going to have to love you and leave you. Thank you so much for doing this. You are the GOAT when it comes to NBA. Absolutely appreciate your voice and everything you stand for and everything you do. Time to head for a quick ad. Let's keep it moving. Roll that ad.
Yop, a snack you can drink. Supporting you to make a positive change. Yop, no limits.
Welcome back, people. For all of you guys who are just joining, just a quick reminder, just keep an eye on in the chat. You could win a PlayStation 5 via Yop, and I promise you, if you don't get your hands on it, I will start making calls to get my hands on it. I'm joined by Ollie, founder of London United. We're going to rewind right back to the start of where this all started, this whole conversation, and tonight's broadcast, which has been absolutely incredible. Ollie, when I come to you, obviously, I'm a very proud ambassador of everything we stand for, but London United, being the founder, to let all the new guys who've just joined, all the new audience who've just joined, what London United are all about.
Yeah, thanks, Ramble. It's been a great evening. I mean, the energy from Mo and Shauna and Adam and John P was just incredible, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. And you've been an incremental part of tonight's broadcast being a success. So thank you to you. London United, esports organisation. We want to address social issues using gaming. We want to help grassroots gamers take a path to pro. We want to stand for something different. We want to stand out from the crowd. And ultimately, last year we held some physical events, and I do like physical events because I think there's something nice about having that community together, and I'm sure the production guys would also endorse that, it being a lot easier than sometimes digital can be. But we held tryouts in places like Lewisham, Grime Against Knives with P Money. We aligned participation in sport with gaming, holding a physical five-a-side tournament before FIFA tryouts at the gaming sphere. And then during COVID, we've addressed loneliness and mental health and nutrition all around FIFA, League of Legends. We did United Against Racism with Leighton Orient, Joe Gemex, Morris, Isaac Chamberlain. Very mixed broadcast of traditional esports content with Rocket League and FIFA, but also some really positive educational messaging around diversity with some inspirational speakers like John Azza from the Kingston Race and Equalities Council. And then this is just an extension of what we're trying to do. I mentioned at the start of the broadcast that the stigma attached to gaming isn't there anymore. Like, you can legitimately have a career in gaming and esports, whether it's as a player, whether it's even working for a team as the social media manager or video editor. So bringing fusing education and esports for us was just a natural extension, and we were really pleased to get the support of the Mayor's Office for the Yop Esports Champs. And in addition to that, we've got the outreach partners who I've got to thank, and Lewisham and the Rio Ferdinand Foundation and the Wicker Charity in Hackney, who have gone and brought the young people to these workshops and to compete tonight. And the young people have recognized that there are skills that we are teaching them that can be utilized for a career in esports, but actually they're very transferable. Public speaking, you were part of that workshop with Taz, and he was brilliant, and he gave some great tips. And whether or not you want to be a caster in esports, whether you want to even be a professional player like Adam, who played tonight, but actually then, who didn't play, who casted, but is actually a professional player, you've seen that those skills are transferable, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make a difference.
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing is people think esports and immediately you think I've got to be really good at FIFA, or I've got to be really good at 2K, which are two games we've played within this broadcast today. But actually, what you just said there is, and this is where London United comes in massively for a lot of young people, is it's not just that. There's so much more now to esports, and I think that's what the workshops have sort of like displayed for us, right?
Yes, absolutely. I think, in fact, the academics have found them quite inspirational, because we've had Conisbrough College, for example. 8 students have attended every workshop. The college made it part of their curriculum. And actually, we've had Nicholas from Blast, we've had Kerry from Esports Insider, we've had Amanda from Gfinity, Cliff from 1080 Media. We've had all these great professionals, either from the sports or esports industry, Man City, Leyton Orient as well, who have come in and they've given up their time because they see as well that, well, in fact, they just align with our vision. They want to help make a difference. So there's nothing better than the young people coming in and having that roster of expertise in front of them and being able to take it in like a sponge and then go out and deliver content. And actually in the broadcast we're doing on Wednesday and then next Saturday in the finals, we're going to have some output from the workshops. So we're going to have videos from the young people to play out, which I'm really excited to show.
Yeah, I'm very, very, very excited for that. That's all for tonight. Thank you to all the partners, the casters, and for everyone who's been involved and everybody watching. There's going to be another opportunity on Wednesdays, so make sure you register for that, because there's giveaways, there's the broadcast, there's absolutely anything and everything you require will be there on Wednesday, so make sure you register for that. And of course, follow London United across socials. From me, good night, and from the rest of the team, good night, and we'll see you on Wednesday.
Yop, a snack you can drink. Supporting you to make a positive change. Yop, no limits.